the Infidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Yeah, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
It's a daily blender for a Friday, April 21st. Putting myself ahead a little bit. April 21st. And you are tuned to the Flamethrower 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic, as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. My name is Randy White. Right over there, the sexiest man in sports talk radio. That is Keon Rose. Next to him, Sir Ralph Romano, Harmon Solar's finest. Jeffrey O'Brien is out today. You knew that SpaceX rocket blew up yesterday. Jeffrey is actually on assignment, trying to find out what caused the explosion. You know, Jeffrey is an explosion a professional. When it comes to explosions, who knows more about explosions than Jeffrey O'Brien? I ask you.
Yeah. I realized that sitting in his office a few times.
Yeah, well.
Explode.
Welcome to you, the fourth dimension, texting in at 888-368-1580. Already have a few texts on here. King of Kittens has is sort of getting us kicked off here. I'm in charge of there's no more white pants except for hot chicks who want to wear them at. I'm not sure what the hell's going on here.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure.
Well, it is Friday.
King of Kittens.
Started right off like a Friday.
Big George, I love those Discover the Forest commercials. Do we have forest in the desert Southwest? A cactus forest? A lot of forest out here, Big George. You know that. Navy Brad, TGIF, good afternoon. Keon, Randy, and you, Sir Ralph. Fish Tank, I wish I had a job where I could take every Friday off. You can have that, Fish Tank. Just take every Friday off. Hamilton Porter, so the Hurt Locker was based on Jeffrey's life? Not sure about that. Hurt Locker? What does that have to do with Jeffrey's life?
Well, because he was the guy that was the bomb. He would have to defuse the bombs. And so he was always obsessed with explosions because he had to know what they looked like and all that.
Scratch Me Because is on the text line at 888-368-1580. Today is my wife's birthday. Please wish the wonderful Mrs. Scratch Me Because a happy birthday. And pour me a Basil Hayden's bourbon, Randy. You sure you don't want the rye? The rye was on sale at Costco. I was at Costco today. All right, 888-368-1580. Happy National Bulldogs Are Beautiful Day, ladies and gentlemen. Bulldogs are beautiful today, April 21st.
Love Bulldogs.
It's the National Battle of San Jacinto, where Keon Rose, you have some facts about the Battle of San Jacinto.
Yeah, well, it's when Texas won their independence.
Not the other one.
No, that as famous as that particular battle was, the Alamo, that was a giant L.
Jacinto.
They did not win that fight.
Is it Jacinto or is it Jacinto?
It's Jacinto. Yeah.
Well, also it's International Hemp Day. For those of you celebrating, National Keep Off the Grass Day. It's also National Surprise Drug Test Day. Who saw that coming?
And it just doesn't feel like a surprise. It's like anytime someone in the NBA or NFL has an amazing game, like that DK Metcalf game where he was just going crazy, and then they tested him right after. It's not a surprise.
Metcalf. Yeah,
not a surprise.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Test people the day after 420. I'm guessing that's not a shock.
Yeah, 888-368-1580. We've got lots to talk about today. Lots going on in the NBA. Of course, the Suns, they eked out a win. And I say eke out because the Suns should have dominated last night, guys. Come on.
They should have. They didn't.
You didn't have playoff PG in there. You didn't have the claw in there. And yet the Suns win by a few. We'll talk about that in a few moments. Nick Nurse is out. He's out of work. He's a Larry O'Brien trophy championship coach. So the Raptors have moved on from Nick Nurse. We'll talk about that. Warriors not quite done yet. It was a meat fest in Philly last night. Talk about that. The NFL has made some suspensions for gambling. Jeez.
Oh, man.
How can we forget the big news? It's on the news calendar. The damn Cardinals came out with some new uniforms. Jesus. Oh, my. Does it get any worse?
I mean, it does. We have seen it in the NFL, but
I think it does.
Oh, boy.
Does it get any damn worse?
Cardinals have to be bottom 3.
Well, I think it's good that they're wearing a college uniform now because
oh my God!
Now that they're going to identify as Ohio State, maybe they'll play to that level. I don't know,
Ralph. It's the Ohio State, if you please.
Is it Arizona Cardinals?
The Arizona Cardinals.
Ugliest dang uniform I've ever seen.
All right, we'll get started here. His Suns sneak by the Clippers. This should have been a game. That the Phoenix Suns should have dominated. This is why I've been saying, and I think Jeffrey's been saying, this is not going to be the season for the Suns to win a championship. If the Suns cannot beat the Clippers with just a Westbrook in there, and you have no claw in there, you've got no playoff Paul. The Clippers, they're at their home arena, but I mean, really, with the talent on the Phoenix Suns. Shouldn't this have been a blowout? It ended up being a 4-point win, 5-point win, 129-124. And Devin Booker had to save the Suns with 45 points, which also tied Charles Barkley with the most 40-point playoff game wins. What does this say to you, Keon, about the Phoenix Suns moving forward in the NBA, playoffs?
Well, I liked what I saw offensively. I mean, Booker's got a ton of space, and he can get those shots. And Durant's getting the shots as easily as he's ever gotten them. And I thought that Chris Paul picked his spots. I don't think the offense was the problem. The problem was that horrific defense. You're not going to win a series where you're missing Paul George and you're missing Kawhi Leonard, and then you give up 42 points to Norman Powell, who is a really good basketball player.
Excuse me, who?
Norm Powell, who was on that Raptors team that won.
He's
a title,
one of the accountants for the Raptors team, right?
Well,
one of the accountants for the Clippers now. Norm Powell.
Norm Powell, and look, that guy,
Norman Powell.
He is a
CPA.
Good, he is a good basketball player. He is. I'm not going to disrespect him in that regard. But guy going off for 40 in a playoff game, and we haven't seen him do that ever. Like that's just something that can't happen. And then the bench. The Suns bench still continues to not show up in this series. I liked some things that I saw from Busy, from Damian Lee, But outside of that, we're still not getting anything from Landry Shamet. Like he just keeps going out there and playing what? Well, he was just 3 minutes last night, thankfully. But like he's just we're not seeing a whole lot from some of these guys. TJ Warren was somebody that they were hoping would be able to add to the depth. Nope, just not giving you anything. Meanwhile, the Clippers, 20 points for Bones Highland off the bench. And again, that's another guy that can play, but he can't give you 20. Like that's just I just don't understand defensively where this team was. They just didn't even do it. Didn't do it.
I hesitate to ask you, Ralph, but did you watch the Suns Clips game last night?
I did. I mean, to me, in all honesty, this was a win for the Clippers. I mean, the Clippers walk away from this game.
No, it was actually a loss.
They walk away from this game, I think, I don't think they had a lot of respect for the Suns. I think the rest of it's gone now. And they realize if they can just get one of their guys back, they should be able to take these guys down. They don't have to fear these guys because of everything Keon just said. That bench is just non-existent. The defense just isn't there. The Clippers, if Kawhi's there last night, the Clippers probably win by 15. I mean, for anything, this is a win for the Clippers. It gives them even more confidence going into the next game, and we'll see what happens.
So was this a malpractice on Monty's part by not getting this team to show up and play well? You've got you have no excuses. You've got Kevin Durant on this team. You've got Devin Booker on this team. You were just in the finals a couple of seasons ago. You got routed last year because you didn't have a team that could stand up against the Dallas Mavericks. And last night you go out, you have the opportunity to really put a hurt on the Clippers. And if Booker doesn't score 45, you lose this game. Quite honestly, where's everybody else on this team, Keon?
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with the points that the starters were got. You know, like you just look at how many shots Devin Booker took, and granted, he was efficient in all the shots he took, but he took a lot of them. And then Durant took the lion's share of that for the starters, what was left. So I don't have a problem with the starters and how, Chris Paul scored 11, Ayton scored 12. Like I'm not worried about that, but I'm looking at that bench and I'm going, if you guys are going to score a combined 14 points, you can't let one guy from the other bench get 20. And then, by the way, Terrence Mann for the Clippers coming off the bench gave him another 10. So it's just the bench has to play better. Like that's just what it comes down to in this series. They just have to play a whole lot better.
Booker with 83 points over the last two games. Ralph, does the Phoenix Suns, are they done? Are they done here?
No, they're not done. But, I want to pat myself on the back because I was arguing
with
Jeff.
Does that hurt for you?
Yeah,
I know you're older.
It's harder to get my arm around now, but I get it.
All right.
But I go back to the arguments I was having with Jeffrey before this playoff started, is that the Suns just aren't deep. I don't like their bench. I don't think they're deep enough to win a championship. I think they've got the wrong pieces in place. You have to retool based on the new talent that you've brought in with Durant, and they're not going to win the championship this year. You might get past the Clippers because the Clippers are struggling with injuries right now. I'll tell you right now, if Paul George and Leonard were both on this team, you'd be down 3-0 right now, in my opinion. You would. They're just better. They're better as a team. They're playing better ball. They're just missing, that guy. So last night was just more proof of that. I mean, when you watch the games, to me, the Clippers, except for in game 2, I'm going to give the Suns, they came out and they played a lot better. But to me, overall, the Clippers look like it's easier for them to score. They're more fluid, where the Suns seem to be, struggling overall in their game. So the Clippers will probably not get past the Suns in this first round because of injuries, but I don't see the Suns going much further than the first round.
I'm worried about them against the Nuggets. Okay. Game 2 against the Nuggets, or the Nuggets just played, Jamal Murray goes out there and just drops 40. Like it's not anything. And that's before you have to take into account Jokic and Michael Porter Jr.
Devin Booker just dropped 45. So
yeah,
so
Jamal Murray's not the best player on that team. That's what, like,
I've heard you crowing about Jamal Murray overlooked the past couple of years.
Because he wasn't playing, and I just think we forgot the guy existed.
What kind of defense does Denver play? That's what I want to know.
They're pretty good at it. You know, but that to me, that's not the issue. I'm not saying that Denver's necessarily going to beat Phoenix, but I will say this: not if this bench plays like this. Like that's a thing that I just stuck out to me throughout the game. I kind of disagree with Ralph. I don't think the Suns were really struggling to score. They were getting the shots they wanted and they were making them. But when it just comes to
when you say they, you mean Devin Booker.
Well, but Durant too. I mean, Durant went out there.
Okay. What do you had? 26?
Well, Booker and Durant are going to get
26 is not nothing.
They're going to get their points.
26
Booker had 45 and
but those two guys are going to get their points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a given, right? Those two guys will score. It's everyone else.
The whole starting unit scored in double figures. I do not care about Torrey Craig going out there and getting 15. That's good. That's a good thing. Chris Paul going out there giving you 11 when he picks his spots and he's not jacking up a ton of shots and making terrible decisions. That's okay.
If Leonard and George are in this series, in your honest opinion, where are we at after 3 games?
Well, I think we're 0-3, and I'll tell you right now, my opinion on this is the Phoenix Suns don't know how to play defense.
Well, that's a given.
They don't know how to play defense,
and it's specifically on shooters. It's not that they can't defend anybody. It's that when guys start to get hot from three,
apparently they can't defend the LA Clippers, because if you let the Clippers in on a night like last night, where they've got Norm Powell, some CPA they picked up in downtown LA, and they've got Russell
disrespecting Norm Powell,
Westbrook, who comes out there and can't shoot, and you let them stay in the game.
I think you're disrespecting Norm Powell quite a bit. This is a guy that
Norm Powell.
I know you don't.
I couldn't pick him out of it.
I'm sure you can't. But the guy was on that 2019 Raptors team with Kawhi.
Powell. I haven't heard his name until today. I didn't even know he was in the NBA.
Well, he's an NBA champion, and he was a part of a starting unit with Kawhi Leonard that they needed what Norm Powell did. That guy can play. So, I don't want to, but I hope the Suns weren't thinking what you were thinking. I hope that they weren't thinking last night, who's Norm Powell? Because he gave him 42. And on a night like last night, where it's particularly frustrating for me, because I actually think the Suns outplayed them in just about every facet of the game.
Well, they did not play him in the defensive side of the basketball. I'll tell you that damn much.
Correct. But you look at the turnover percentage, the Suns, clear advantage. You look at the offensive rebound percentage, Suns, clear advantage. You look at the free throws per field goal attempt, Suns, clear advantage. And you're still here winning by 5? That tells me everything that I need to know. Defense wasn't great, and Norm Powell is a shooter, and the Suns keep struggling to defend shooters, guys that shoot threes. Why? It's the modern NBA. Everybody in the league shoots threes. Defend the guy that shoots the shot that gives you a lot of points. I don't understand this.
That's a problem right there.
I'm losing my mind a little.
You say this word defend as if the Phoenix Suns know what to do with it.
They've done it before.
Go ahead and shoot the ball. We'll just outscore you.
This whole series, I haven't seen.
Yeah, we're gonna outscore you.
Can we just be honest? I mean, this is not a championship team. Come on, who are we trying to kid here? You don't look at the Phoenix Suns right now and go, man, they're an NBA title. They're going to win the championship.
No,
I don't think that at all.
I don't think that they are the front runner, but I would still say they're a contender. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I watched Denver play, and I'm just like, damn, that team's got it going on.
Well, that's why they're the number one seed.
Yeah, I don't like saying this about the Suns, but they're going to move on from the Clippers, and I have a feeling they're going to get their ass kicked in the next round.
I think if they meet Denver, they're going to lose in 5. They'll win 1.
I'm not so sure about that. I'm also not sure the Suns will be down 0-3.
It was 129, 124 last night.
Correct.
Suns win. Devin Booker's got to put up 45. They have no defense, 0.
And the thing is, they gacked it away in that fourth quarter because they were up 15, 16 multiple times in that game, and then started choking it away late. It just took their foot off the gas. It's not like it was a fight and a scrap and a battle the entire game. It became that in the fourth. I wish that I didn't have to see them doing that, though, because you do need the killer instinct if you're gonna make a title run.
There's no killer instinct on this team.
That's something that's happening. But I'm also not going to go the full woe is me. I'm just losing my mind.
I'm not going woe is me. I'm just saying it like it is, and I think Ralph is too. The bottom line is the Phoenix Suns have no defense, 0. And that goes from DeAndre Ayton.
Well,
he might put up 18 points and get 13 rebounds a game. Goody. But
No, that's the thing is I don't want to.
we won the game by the hair of our chinny chin chin last
and this
night.
is why I don't want to. This is why I said perimeter defense specifically, because I'm not blaming Ayton for this. Look at the people who are actually killing the Suns for that team. It's Westbrook. That's a guard. That's a perimeter player. Powell. That's a guard. That's a perimeter player. Highland. That's a guard. That's a perimeter player. Man. That's a guard. That's a perimeter player.
Who's this Norm Bunting? What the hell's his name again? The
Norm-
CPA?
Norm Powell.
Norm Johnson. What's his name?
Norm Powell. And look,
that's it. Yeah. What does he do?
What do you mean? What does he do?
Yeah. What is
Apparently-
he? Forward? Is he wing? What is he?
Center. He's kind of like the 2-3 guard,
He's a
small
bench player.
forward.
Oh, he's a perimeter guy.
Yeah, he's a wing guy. That's what I'm
He's a
saying.
wing guy.
Nobody that put up points on the Suns was a big guy.
Mm.
So it doesn't start with DeAndre Ayton. It starts with the guys on the perimeter,
Well, listen. I
Chris Paul, Devin
well,
Booker,
I mean,
Kevin Durant.
Come on,
Those are the guys that have to start playing defense.
All right, Suns win last night, 129, 124. Ooh, have another game in LA. Kawhi might be back. Hell, who knows? We might squeak out of LA with a couple of wins. But listen. If you're a Suns fan, I want to hear from you. 888-368-1580. What'd you think about last night? I know Keon is he's all mad at me now, and
no, not at all. I
just don't believe the Suns looked good last night at all. I know they won and everything, but gee whiz, we should have. It should have been one. It should have been 129-85. If you want to know the honest truth here,
that's not to me. You have
129-85 is what it should have been.
You're playing playoff basketball. Okay, you do have to respect the opponent to a degree.
You got Norm Powell in there.
I understand
what's his name
that.
again? Norm Powell.
Norm
Powell. That's it.
Look,
CPA. You brought in this guy up at the G League team.
The Lakers played a team without John Morant. They lost, right? The Bucks also took a loss. Or not, sorry, the Bucks also got a win.
I don't care about the
correct, but this
Grizzly or the Bucks. I'm talking about the Clippers who maybe should have won last night.
Well, they shouldn't have won last night. But the point, because they didn't. But I'm just saying, when you look at the NBA, the teams that make the playoffs, even without their stars, the other people on that roster know how to play basketball too. It's not just Kawhi and Paul George, and the team's dead if
congratulations, Norm Powell. You're today's
basketball player.
Damn hero for the. All right, when we come back, I've got more NBA stuff to talk about. Gee whiz, I don't even know what to say. And your text at 888-368-1580. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Or not.
This is Brett Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
The Diamondbacks home tonight as they take on the San Diego Padres. It'll be Zach Gallen getting the start for Arizona. Seth Lugo countering for San Diego. The Diamondbacks plus a run and a half, minus 170 on the run line. San Diego plus 140, minus the run and a half. On the money line, the Padres minus 104, Diamondbacks minus 112 with an over-under at 9.5. The Angels tonight will send Shohei Ohtani to the bump against Kansas City. The Angels minus 300 on the money line. Kansas City plus 245. Over-under is at 8.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hi, this is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and best-selling author on safety and preparedness. The fact is, things are getting downright scary for everyone who's storing their wealth in the banks. We just saw the collapse of 3 major banks, and I would urge you to consider protecting your wealth ASAP. If even a tiny percentage of Americans attempt to withdraw their savings, we would see a collapse of the entire banking system, sending us into a modern-day Great Depression. Fortunately, there is a way for you to avoid this. It starts with contacting Advantage Gold. If you have an IRA or 401k, Advantage Gold can help convert those paper assets into physical gold and silver. This is the process that I recommend everybody use as a hedge against rapid inflation and to protect your retirement wealth from the banks. Take control of your financial safety today. Call 800-900-8000 to get your free gold investment kit from Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Advantage
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
Greg Clark Automotive trained and certified technicians, servicing the Valley for 45 years. Located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue. Highly rated by Google. Any of their foreign, domestic, or diesel work repairs come with a digital inspection, customer approval, and warranty. 2 years or 24,000 miles. State-of-the-art service, family touch. Contact us today at 602-246-2881 or online at gregclarkautomotive.com. Mention 1580 and get 10% off.
Well, Mrs. Grayer, nothing on the x-ray that pinpoints the source of the pain. Let's send you to our lumbar expert.
After reviewing the x-rays, I can't see anything wrong. Let's give you a steroid shot for the pain and send you to the lab for some blood work.
Tired of the runaround? How about trying a new approach? The holistic approach.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Baseball is in full swing.
See you later!
And we've got the grand old game covered like an infield tarp.
How about that?
Who's hot? Who's not? We've got the latest news, score, highlights, and info from around the league all season long.
It's a camper and it'll go all the way to the wall.
We are your MLB hookup.
Looking up and it's gone a home run.
Get all the games you can handle on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
It's Friday on the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic as we head for 6 o'clock tonight. Jeffrey O'Brien out today. My name is Randy White. That's Keon Rose, sexiest man in sports talk radio, and Sir Ralph Romano, Harmon Solar, joining us here on the Daily Blender. Lots going on the text line from you, the fourth dimension at 888-368-1580. Bruno Baller says, don't you drive by the Joshua Tree National Forest every time you go to Vegas? Well, I mean, think about this for a second. Do you know what the Joshua Tree is?
I do not. Not familiar.
Are you going to say an album from U2?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I saw that coming.
Kyle G says, Randy, pour me your fanciest drink. My wife and I are celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary. Oh, congratulations. Here's a shot of whiskey.
I'd give him 2.
Okay.
One each, you know.
Beer Bob says, I'm glad the Dodgers got beat down today, but can't believe how the Cubs pitcher lost that perfect game. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. He lost it in the most Cubby way. Yeah, he did. We'll talk about that. It was terrible. It was rough to see. And as a former catcher, and you know, once you're a catcher, you're always a catcher, right? I mean, you play the position for so long, like I did. I played it in Little League. I played it high school ball. I played non-pro ball. I'm always going to be a catcher. And I feel bad for the catcher of the Cubs. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Swazman says, hey, Randy, you think Kyler Murray should move to Las Vegas and then play for the Oakland A's in the new stadium and also for the Oakland Raiders in Vegas? Boy, that would be a Deion Sanders type of move. I don't think Kyler Murray is that good. I don't think that Kyler Murray is that type of an athlete. I don't think he could do, quarterbacking an NFL team and playing baseball for a Major League Baseball team. I don't think he could.
And I actually think Kyler's a really good athlete. But
I think he's a good athlete, but I don't think
Deion's in another stratosphere.
Well, Deion was also a defensive back. He wasn't a quarterback. He didn't carry the weight of the team on his shoulders, you know.
But he did play a position where like it's all your physicality that you win with. I mean, they put him on an island and it's like, dude, your athleticism is how you're beating people. And he did that. And then he played baseball and he did that really well too.
I just, I don't.
I just don't
maybe
think,
I'm grouchy today. I don't know.
I just don't think Kyler's the same kind of athlete Deion.
Maybe
I just think Deion's on another level than most people that have lived.
Kyler should have chose MLB, in my opinion.
So you're a guy that you watched, Ralph. You watched Russ Wilson, MLB guy, also a NFL guy.
Yeah.
Clearly, Russ should have played the football, but you're saying that Kyler should have gone baseball. Why?
I just think Kyler was actually a very good infielder in college, and I think he would have been the number 1 pick in the MLB draft.
He was.
I mean,
he got taken 9th.
But he
would
have
been overall. Okay,
he would have been number 1 if people thought he was going to come and play.
Yeah, it was more like you're taking a chance on the guy.
I think
maybe
he had a really good shot. He had a really good shot to be a pretty decent MLB player. Versus, I think, because of his size and his some of his inabilities, I think he struggles at the quarterback position. I don't know that he's going to be successful ever, to be honest with you. But I think he could have been a pretty decent baseball player.
We'll have to wait and see. Now
that's just me, though. I know
it's too late now. Yeah, kind of.
Well, it's not too late. I mean, he's still young.
For me, because I've seen Kyler play high level football for at least one season in this league, so I know if you can do it once, presumably you should be able to do it again.
Not always.
But for as far as baseball goes, you don't have to be the leader. Like that's the thing. I don't like Kyler as a leader. That is the part that kills me. And if you're a quarterback, you kind of have to be by default.
Yeah, well,
and you don't have to be if you're a baseball player.
He can be that individual in baseball.
Donnie is on the text line. Donnie, I do that, Donnie, because that's the way Jeffrey put it in here. D-O-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N. Why? Donnie. Happy Friday, boys. My weekend depends a ton on tonight's outcome of the Wolves and the Wild. Timberwolves are going to lose, man.
Yeah, they don't have a prayer.
Now, Wild, maybe. Timberwolves are going to lose, Donnie. I'm sorry.
That's a sweet.
I'm just going to go ahead and because Donnie, I appreciate your passion. I'm going to ice one down for you here. There you go, my friend. Enjoy. On the house. CK, good afternoon, fellas. Randy Bearme. I see Jeffrey has yet another day off. How much blowing does one have to do to get so much time off? Sir!
Blowing.
Lakers and Dodgers blow more than Jeffrey. Suck it, Ralph!
Look, just because Jeffrey does some lawn and garden care on the side, got the leaf blower out.
Is that what he's doing?
Sometimes. I mean, not today. He's obviously an explosion enthusiast as well.
Moonlighting at Home Depot.
But
let's see here. Navy Brad. Good afternoon, Keon and Randy, and you as well, Sir Ralph. Sir Ralph, question: who's the autograph pitcher for the USA behind you?
That's Mike Eruzione.
Who is the other? It's Mike Eruzione.
Yeah.
The great
Eruzione.
The great forward for the United States hockey team, 1984. Do you believe in miracles?
You can't see it down here, but there's also his signed jersey as well.
It's pretty damn cool.
Yeah. I bet that smells amazing.
Smells like victory, Randy.
Smells like a gold medal, doesn't it? Smells like world dominance.
Gold medal, baby.
Silver Pop says, good afternoon, guys. Just want to say hi. I heard the funniest thing just a couple of moments ago. Seattle Sea Chickens bandwagon fans saying that another team has the ugliest uniforms out there. Sir, and again I say,
it's very well done.
I just read them, man.
That's a really good job.
DeAndre Ayton was terrible again. I wonder if he'll be on the team next year. Cuz CUZ, he's been terrible lately. So says Heavy Metal Maniacs. DeAndre
really
Ayton,
though?
AIDEN.
I don't think he's the issue.
The offense didn't run through him. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant got most of the shots. DeAndre Ayton got 9. He made 4 of them.
He's a role player.
Grabbed 11 boards. I mean, defended the rim. It's not like they were beating the Suns because they were just getting to the basket with nobody protecting it. They were shooting the lights out of the gym, and no adjustment got made for it.
There's your key. You said the exact thing, and I've been saying this now this whole week: is no adjustments. How good is Monty, or how bad is
or they're
Monty?
late? Like game 1, they lose, and he does make the adjustment for game 2.
Right.
But then here we are in game 3, and it's like he can make adjustments, but it's after the game. It's all right.
Yeah.
Go to the next game. You got to make some mid-game adjustments sometimes.
Exactly. How about an in-game adjustment? That would help.
Just like you have no idea how to stop a guy who's shooting the ball like that. Or maybe we start switching a whole lot more. If you have a guy who's shooting threes like that, you can't go under screens. Like maybe that's part of the adjustment. I don't know, but you have to be able to make them in the game, and it's like he never does. He never does.
So when you think of DeAndre Ayton, you guys tell me a guy that's 7 feet tall, who's not who's not an under the basket guy. Can you think of anybody who was not a dominant under the basket guy? Because it seems like Phoenix sports fans are thinking that DeAndre Ayton, because he's 7 feet tall, needs to be the next coming of Shaquille O'Neal. And I don't think that's true at all.
It's not who he is.
I think he is more of a finesse player, and I think he's more of a, okay, he'll get some rebounds, but he's not going to be under the basket fighting against other centers. He's going to be a guy that can hit from 10, 12, 18 feet away, these little jumpers, and it almost looks ridiculous. So what do you guys say? DeAndre Ayton is not a dominant center in this league.
Maybe, I don't know. This might be totally wrong. You tell me, Kiam. Maybe more like a somewhat of a Ralph Sampson.
A pretty similar game where it's like he's obviously skilled,
right,
but he's just not going to beat you up. That's
right,
just not who he is. I think Ralph Sampson's a really good comparison there. When the Lakers had Pau Gasol at center, Pau Gasol really, really good for the Lakers. When they needed him to win a championship, he was great, but he was just also not going to be a guy that was going to back you down all the way to the low block and then turn around and dunk on you.
Right.
So you know what the guy is. DeAndre Ayton's been here for his entire rookie contract. It's not a mystery what he can and can't do. So I'd expect him to suddenly
or what his game is.
Yeah.
Not that he can't do it. He chooses not to because he's more of a finesse player.
Yeah, he's just never been that guy. And I don't think that that's necessarily wrong. If you know what somebody is, you have to adjust for that. You have to coach to that.
But maybe that's a missing piece, right? Maybe next year they need that guy down there. Somebody that
they need a brute.
I'm not saying get rid of him. I'm just saying add a guy.
Yeah.
That is big and that can be that brute down in the middle, because you don't have him right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it was just a guy coming off the bench or something like that, to just say, okay, in the moments of the game where we need to get physical, then we're gonna go to this guy.
We need a Draymond Green under the hoop for the Phoenix Suns, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm not saying we go get Draymond Green. I'm saying we need a guy like Draymond, unafraid to mix it up under the hoop,
or somebody with that persona. And even if it is a center, I mean, I would prefer if it was a center, but even if it wasn't, just like a guy that would have that personality for this team, because this team, the whole team, doesn't really have that. I mean, we have guys that can play. We have guys that can really, turn it on offensively when they want to. But in terms of, I see Norm Powell going off, this stops right now. Like, as much as we don't like Patrick Beverley would never have let that happen.
888-368-1580. We got a ton of text. I'll get back to you in just a second. I want to talk about other NBA news today. The Raptors moving on from head coach Nick Nurse, who was, by the way, the NBA Coach of the Year in 2020. He also led the Raptors to their first ever championship. He compiled a 227 and 163 record across his 5 seasons of coaching with the Raptors. But his only season below 500 was this past season. I'm sorry, during the COVID-19 impacted season, when the Raptors went 27-45 due to adverse circumstances playing away from Toronto. Raptors this season spent most of the year below 500 before climbing back up and gaining a 41-41 record and reaching the play-in tournament. However, they lost there to the Chicago Bulls. Now, Nick Nurse out in Toronto. Guys, do you think this was the right move for the Toronto Raptors to get rid of a talented coach like Nick Nurse? And where do you think he's going to go? We've got about a minute before I got to go to break. Answer one of the questions. Keon, I'll start with you.
I think it was the right move just because I think that both parties were done with each other. I mean, in the middle of the season, Nick Nurse was talking out loud to the media mid-season about I might leave and go somewhere else. So he didn't want to be there. And I don't care how talented someone is. If they don't want to be there and you can't convince them to stay, you can't. There's nothing you can do.
227 and 163 across 5 seasons.
I understand, but he didn't want to be there.
Wow.
As impressive as that is, and I think he's a great coach. I think he's got guts. You know, that 2019 title against the Warriors when, you know, KD goes down and Clay goes down and Steph's the only guy who can really do any damage. He turns to the boxing one to just make sure that Steph can do nothing. I've never seen a guy pull out a high school defense in an NBA finals before, but he knew that was the right thing to do, and he did it. I like it when a coach can do something like that. So I know he's going to be in high demand, but if the guy doesn't want to be there, and he didn't, then I don't know how you keep him.
Quick minute here, Ralph. What do you got to say about Nick Nurse being let go in Toronto?
I probably just think it's Canada. He doesn't want to be in Canada. Who the hell wants to live in Canada? First off,
I mean, that's a good point.
Seriously, who the hell wants to live in Toronto?
Huh.
So where's he going to go? How about Phoenix?
Well, Phoenix is not on the list. It looks like he is top candidate to take over in Houston, maybe.
Phoenix.
I mean,
wow, you're saying get rid of Monty and bring Nick Nurse into Phoenix.
Monty ain't showing me anything. I'd get rid of him. He's showing me he doesn't know what he's doing. That's just my
damn.
Opinion,
all right,
give it to a guy like that guy who can do it, who has experience, who actually makes changes.
He does have championship experience, and he is a winning coach. He's got a winning record.
I don't think anyone here would be upset.
888-368-1580. We've got more of your texts. We've got a lot more NBA talk to talk about as we kick off this Friday edition of the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hi, this is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and best-selling author on safety and preparedness. The fact is, things are getting downright scary for everyone who's storing their wealth in the banks. We just saw the collapse of 3 major banks, and I would urge you to consider protecting your wealth ASAP. If even a tiny percentage of Americans attempt to withdraw their savings, we would see a collapse of the entire banking system, sending us into a modern-day Great Depression. Fortunately, there is a way for you to avoid this. It starts with contacting Advantage Gold. If you have an IRA or 401k, Advantage Gold can help convert those paper assets into physical gold and silver. This is the process that I recommend everybody use as a hedge against rapid inflation and to protect your retirement wealth from the banks. Take control of your financial safety today. Call 800-900-8000 to get your free gold investment kit from Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Are your investments going nowhere? Here's a tip that always pays big dividends. Invest in yourself, your talent, your smarts, your skills. Maybe it's time to make that investment and start a career in IT or upskill to boost your current career. At My Computer Career, you can bank on us. We'll help you get the right skills and the right certifications to start or advance your IT career. IT keeps growing, so go with the growth at My Computer Career. The right training, the right timing, the right career. Invest in you at mycomputercareer.edu. Start now.
Don't be fooled by the people you meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but anyone who tries to sell you pills is nothing more than a drug dealer. And if you think tiny pills can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Know the truth about fentanyl at learnmoreaz.org. Don't be fooled. Don't be faked out. Visit learnmoreaz.org. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
This is Brad Musburger. Don't miss Betting Across America, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Friday edition of the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic. As we head for 6 o'clock, hour one almost in the books. Don't forget this Sunday, live from Talladega. It is a big race, NASCAR race. If you're a NASCAR fan, you're going to want to listen in. We've got flag-to-flag coverage this Sunday here on The Fanatic. You're home for NASCAR in the Valley, Yellowwood 400. That's one of my favorite races because it's the biggest track. And I don't care what anybody says. You get pack racing. You get to see these guys out there in really equal cars, learning how to maneuver their cars in traffic, setting themselves up. I think it's so damn exciting. And we'll have flag-to-flag coverage on the Fanatic this weekend here. 888-368-1580. We've been talking NBA basketball. Nick Nurse out as Raptors coach. They are targeting Ime Udoka, the former Boston Celtics coach. I want to ask you, Keon, why is he such a hot commodity? What is special about Ime Udoka that all these teams? This is not the first team that we've seen. The Raptors are the most recent team, but other teams have targeted him to come in and be their head coach. What's so special about Ime Udoka?
I think it's got to be his just ability to get players to buy into what he's doing. I mean, when he took over for Boston and Brad Stevens, I think everybody thought Brad Stevens did a really good job with Boston. But then Udoka goes ahead and takes them to another level. They immediately go to an NBA Finals when he becomes the coach. We start seeing chemistry between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown that we hadn't seen before under him. And I think that there's a thought that he's a really smart guy, high IQ basketball guy. And then he knows how to manage stars. He knows how to manage personalities, which I think a lot of young coaches struggle with, but it was something that didn't take him any time to master at all.
Is he going to like poutine up in Canada, though? I mean, to me, that's the question. Tim Hortons and poutine.
He's going to learn to like it if he doesn't like it already. But it's an opportunity to go to a franchise in Toronto.
I mean, it's poutine. It starts with poo.
I mean, look, that could be the indicator that nobody should like it, but I don't know. I've never tried it.
Well, I mean, Big George has had poutine, and he swears by it. But
I just think that when it comes to Toronto, as long as Masai Ujiri is going to be the general manager over there, he's one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. I mean,
does Ime Udoka like Rush? Does he listen to Rush?
I have no idea. I honestly couldn't tell you
because they're from Toronto. That's before Neil Peart died of brain cancer.
I didn't know that, but that's
he died of brain cancer.
Oh no, that they were from Toronto.
Yeah, they're from Toronto. They have a song YYZ, which is the airport code, I believe, for Toronto.
Yeah, that's pretty cool for Toronto. I mean,
Ime Udoka, he likes the rock and roll. He likes the classic rock, does he?
That I could not tell you. I do not.
How about
know
snow? Does he like snow? Does he like snow sports?
Well, he lived in Boston, so I can't
imagine.
imagine
Does he like the smell of pine trees and poutine?
Well, once again, he lived in Boston, which answers the pine tree question. Still doesn't answer the poutine question.
There's no
I
pine
don't
trees in Boston. You kidding me? There's just bad blood and racism in Boston. And maybe Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, the thing is, the whole East Coast has pine trees. So I mean,
I'm not sure about where. Maybe upstate New York.
Everywhere, man. From basically the northeast on down to the southeast.
Have you been up north there in the far east there? Have you in the eastern part of the United States there, Keon?
I have not been as far north as Boston.
So you don't really know. Ralph, have you been to Boston?
I have family.
You have family?
Yeah.
I mean, I lived in Northern Virginia. I've never been to Boston.
Oh, Virginia. Oh, perfect. Even better. 888-368-1580.
I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Northern Virginia, like outside of DC. It's basically not far from where
I
Keelan
was born a coal miner's daughter. Isn't that Virginia?
That's Southern Virginia.
That's Southern Virginia, yeah.
And West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Virginia is a very large state.
Yeah.
Commonwealth.
Underrated.
The
in its size.
Commonwealth. Rough Rob, if you're a professional sports player and want to gamble on sports, find yourself a good old school bookie that keeps his mouth shut and will break a body part if you don't pay up. Well, we'll talk about that. The NFL cracking down on more sports gambling today.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what the hell's wrong with these NFL players. We'll talk about it later. Fish Tank. Oh, shut the hell up, Ralph. If the Suns lost a game and we called it a win for us, you'd be shredding us. Zip it, LA boy, or Seattle boy, or whoever is good right now, boy. Damn.
Just
I don't
fiery.
I don't like being
Damn.
called a boy, so I don't understand.
3 times.
I'm a man, not a boy.
It's just
Mr. Wilbur, I think
once
you
is
guys
an
forget
accent,
the
3
most.
times is disrespectful.
I think you guys forget that at the most, this is a 28-game season, and whether the bench scores or not will obviously show itself as we move further into the playoffs. The only thing we need the bench to do is play better defense, even
Well,
if it means eating up fouls.
Captain Obvious.
Look,
Mr. Wilbur on the
either-
text line.
Either they play better defense or they score. Like those are the 2 options you have. I'd prefer both.
Can we do a section can we do a segment called
section?
Letters from Fish Tank?
Letters from Fish Tank. You want me to read that?
To say to him.
Oh, shut the hell up, Ralph! I'm pretty sure he was screaming it like that.
Yeah.
Colts fan Dan tells me to quit insulting accountants. That's because Norm Macdonald. What was his name again? Norm. What the hell was his name?
Norm Powell, man.
Norm Powell, CPA.
Peterson.
Norm Peterson, CPA.
From Cheers.
Quiet Canyon. You guys keep saying this playoff basketball. Maybe someday you should let the Suns know that. Maybe they're not prepared for the playoffs. Quiet Canyon. On to Lynx says, these pesky physical Clippers remind me of the pesky physical Pelicans last year. We seemed a bit worn down after that series. Do you think there's a concern that after this series, assuming we move on, the Suns will be worn down?
I sure hope not. I mean, as even though they're the 4 or 5 matchup, so you should be more evenly matched with the team you're playing. It's a first round matchup. If you're worn down after one playoff series, I mean, just forget the whole run. I don't think you should be worried that they're worn down. I think we should be worried that the bench gave up 30 points to 2 guys from the opposing bench.
And one of them was a CPA.
No,
Triple A 368-1580.
Norm Powell started.
Pretty damn sure Norm Powell is a CPA. I'm pretty sure of it.
But he didn't come off the bench.
No, he didn't. He came right from the offices of Powell and Powell, where he was doing CPAs all day.
Bones Highland and
another guy, Bones Highland. What is this guy? Like a street gambler? He's got like a craps game out there on the corner somewhere.
I thought he was a doctor.
A doctor named Bones.
AAA 368-1580.
He could be on a Star Trek ship, being a doctor somewhere.
Dr. Bones.
Damn it, Jim!
I'm a doctor, not a basketball player.
Yeah. Hamilton Porter still fascinated with the forests inside of Arizona. There's also the Coconino Forest on the way up to the Grand Canyon. And then Hamilton Porter says, which one was Bo Jackson better at? I'm assuming he's talking about sports.
And the answer
football
is,
or baseball?
I think it's obviously football.
Yeah, it's football.
My answer would be all of them.
Well, he's a better football player.
Bo knows.
I mean, if you were to play Bo right now in golf, even with all of his injuries, he'd kick your ass.
Because Bo knows golf.
Bo sits in the basement of his house and he makes like arrows because he's a hunter. Do you really want to insult Bo Jackson?
The documentary that they had on him at the ESPN, the 30 for 30, like they were just hanging out in his little shed where he makes his arrows or whatever. Just 4 compound bows just hanging out on the wall. Yeah, I don't think anybody should be Talking
you would
about messing
never
with Bo
hear it
Jackson.
coming. if Bo Jackson wanted to take you out, you'd never hear it coming. The next thing they know, you would be drawn and quartered in his front yard. 888-368-1580. I mean, the texts are just pouring in. Here's one from Lost Toby. It has a picture of this holiday. Discover your inner elf, and he's got Kyler Murray in the new Cardinals uniform in the elf name, the elf for the movie poster Elf.
That's
Will Ferrell and James Caan starring in Elf. Wow, look at that. And that, you know what? It looks like a damn Santa suit.
Horrible.
CK says DA is trash. Keon, you did not watch the game. DA was the pigeon. They set the picks so Trash Can Ayton could be on the perimeter player. DA played that drop coverage on 3-point shooters, even when the leaders kept telling him to stop dropping.
Yeah, because you should switch that. He's supposed to be in the paint. That's why you.
But he kept dropping. It says here.
Yeah, but
CK says he kept dropping.
You screen the big because you're trying to force him to drop. If he goes up to play, who's going to protect the rim? DA being
it's not DA
going up to guard any perimeter player is a mismatch in favor of the perimeter player. I'm sorry, like that just doesn't even make any sense.
Kiss the Cook says, Mr. Randy, please pour me a happy Friday shot of Napoleon brandy. Absolutely. He also says, Sir Romano. Navy Brad says, Ralph, I picked the Kings to win the cup in 5 over Montreal in the 92-93 season in August of 92.
Yeah, that didn't actually work, did it? Unfortunately, that one little stick incident, and that was the end.
Yeah. The historian says, historically speaking, Queen Elizabeth II was born on this day in 1926. He also goes on to say, no matter how yucky or disgusting or hideous a Suns win is, it's a Suns win.
Thank you, historian.
Nurse Cratchit says it's 50-50. The Suns win the series? Question mark?
No. I mean,
game
Paul George is not coming back. And I don't know about Kawhi. They're actually worried that there might be a tear in Kawhi's knee.
He's resting his knee.
If that's torn, they're done.
Yeah, I mean, like they thought that it was simply, sprained, inflamed. No, there might actually be some structural damage in there, and if it is, he might not come back this series.
Swazman says even though there was a game plan, Hack-a-Shaq was 50% from the free throw line. What the hell does that have to do with anything?
Okay.
Mr. Pringle says, Ralph, can you pull the plug on Keon's solar panel, please? Wow.
I don't have solar panels. I rent, but
Kyle G says, bet that Toronto coach would make in-game adjustments. He'd look good here in Phoenix. Well, you're the second one, Kyle G. Man, we've got tons and tons and tons and tons of texts. And we got more to talk about, including the brand new Cardinals flashy new uniforms. We'll talk about that in hour 2 and much more. And get your texts here at 888-368-1580. It's a daily blender on 1580 The Fanatic.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
When life gets overwhelming, but you just don't feel like talking,
Help is only a text away. Trained and caring crisis specialists are available by text 24/7 to assist with suicidal thoughts, substance use issues, depression, anxiety, and more. You are never alone. When you need help, please text HOPE to 4HOPE. From anywhere in Arizona, text the word HOPE to 44673. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
Today on Hey Culligan, Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey, Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Are your investments going nowhere? Here's a tip that always pays big dividends. Invest in yourself, your talent, your smarts, your skills. Maybe it's time to make that investment and start a career in IT or upskill to boost your current career. At My Computer Career, you can bank on us. We'll help you get the right skills and the right certifications to start or advance your IT career. IT keeps growing, so go with the growth at My Computer Career. The right training, the right timing, the right career. Invest in you at mycomputercareer.edu. Start now.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K2.2 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a Friday edition of the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic in the 4 o'clock hour. We are broadcasting live from the Harmon Solar Studios, beautiful uptown Scottsdale. My name is Randy White. Right over there, the sexiest man in sports talk radio. That's Keon Rose. Next to him, Sir Ralph Romano from Harmon Solar. Jeffrey O'Brien is off today. He'll be back on Monday. 888-368-1580 is the text line. That's how you jump in on the program. Just like King of Kittens, who says, as soon as it goes here, this one time at the Canadian Arizona Comedy Club at Desert Ridge, the poutine was delicious. Canadian Arizona Club.
Stand Up Live, maybe?
Canadian
Didn't know it was Canadian.
Arizona Comedy Club. Pinocchio says, Ime Udoka likes the, I can't read that. Some other poo, not poutine. Jagdog, pump the brakes on your Prius, Ralph. Suns won. Win is a freaking win. Suck it, Ralph.
I don't drive a Prius, nor would I ever. So,
Big George giving us the lowdown on poutine. It's amazing. He says everyone needs to try a La Banquise in Montreal, Quebec. It's the best poutine I've ever had. Also, Ralph, nothing wrong with living in Canada. It's beautiful there, and I would live there in a heartbeat.
I spent 2 years working there.
In Canada?
In Surrey and Vancouver area. And Vancouver area is actually quite beautiful. There's no doubt about it. But people, government, I can pass. Not the best experience in the world.
It's a hard no for Ralph there, Big
hard
George.
No. But if Big George, if you like it, be my guest.
It makes perfect sense, Keon. Ralph, our pal was scorching hot. Pay up on him. And let's be honest, DA isn't protecting anything. That comes from CK.
A lot of DA hate.
CK being
the texter on the text line.
Okay.
CK.
Yeah. I mean, you can say he's not protecting anything, but I literally watch people not go to the basket when Ayton's there, which makes sense because he's 7 feet tall. And if he puts his hands up, you're not scoring. But it's okay because
why doesn't he put his hands up then?
Because he does. That's the reason why the Suns were getting torched from outside of the 3-point line.
I see.
Yeah.
Getting a Christmas picture here on the text line from Lost Toby. This Christmas, I'm not doing Elf on a Shelf. I got Kyler on a driver. And he has a very nice, there's a very nice Christmas tree in the background with blue and silver ornaments. It looks like some blue lights on there. And then his Callaway bag on some sort of a remote control golf bag. You guys have seen those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you wouldn't just get a damn cart, but hey, that's Lost Toby, not me. And then on his driver, standing on his driver, wearing the new Cardinals uniform is Kyler Murray.
I'm glad that 8 months ahead of Christmas, you've gotten that sorted out. Because the elves are kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't find Kyler creepy and you
got him on a driver there.
There you go.
Creepy. He's creepy.
Baker's Cocky Hen sends in a picture. And what it is it's a still shot of Allen Iverson in the barber's chair on that Car Shield commercial I told you guys about, which I didn't understand why he was in a barber shop. The guy didn't have any clippers or anything in his hand. And he's got his hair in like those, I don't know if it's cornrows, if that would be the official, definition of his hairdo, but he's got cornrows going on. There's nothing happening. There's a guy standing behind him and he's got a barber's, what do you call it? A backwards cape on there. So his hair doesn't fall, but the guy's not clipping any damn hairs. And this commercial always pisses me off. And here we go again. And then you got Ric Flair in there going, woo, but he can't do that anymore because he's old. I got the answer. It's Friday here on the Daily Blender.
I think you could tell.
Last night, the Golden State Warriors were down 2-0. Sacramento Kings had to go into the Chase Center, and they banned all cowbells. And apparently that worked. Golden State winning 114-97. Is this a turn in the tide, guys? Golden State, are they back in this? Or was this sort of a flash in the pan?
I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily either. I mean, Golden State was playing well this whole series. They didn't have bad games. It was just they could not stop De'Aaron Fox. And even last night, De'Aaron gave him 26. It's not like they took him out of the game entirely. So no, I don't think this is the turning of the tide, but it was a game obviously they needed to win to not go down 3-0, which is a death sentence in the playoffs. Nobody ever comes back from that. So you just have to find a way to get that done. You get the one win, and now you try and even up the series. And once a series is even, the Warriors can do what they do. And even if they fall down 3-1, this is a team that has the experience of coming back from that. So I just think that as long as they got that one game and the possibility of just getting into an impossible spot out of the way, I think it's going to help them play with confidence.
Kayvon Looney seemed to be the star of the show for the Warriors last night. He brought down 20 rebounds. He had a career high 9 assists. Seemed to be the guy that really helped this team step up. And then Sacramento they weren't shooting very well last night. 23%, something like that.
This is typical in a series in the NBA, right? We all expected this last night. Them going home, them winning, the emotion of the crowd. They won the game. Now, if Sacramento is for real, they win this next game. They steal this game, go back home, and close them out. Now, I don't know if they're going to do that, but I'm just saying that's typical of what you'd see from a team that's a real contender. They're going to lose that game 3 because of emotion. I get that. But then game 4, they come and they shut the door. In game 5, they go home and just be done with it.
I think the pressure's still on Golden State.
From
where I sit.
Absolutely. They have to win this next game. This is a must win.
If they don't win, this is really going to put the hurt on them. And I think Sacramento is poised to win this series and move on.
And it's the best version of the Golden State Warriors when they're shooting the ball efficiently, when they're more importantly not turning the ball over, because they had, especially in game one, just some uncharacteristic turnovers for them and for Steph, and they just weren't protecting the basketball. I think that you do that in game three. You protect the basketball, you shoot it, and you shoot it efficiently. You're not taking bad shots, and then I think it did help them that the refs who were letting them play a pretty physical series buckled down in that. After the whole Sabonis Draymond drama, I don't know that you're going to see the same level of physical basketball. I just don't think the Kings are going to be able to get away with that again in this series once something like that happens. You can let them play, but once you have a guy or you have two guys get tangled up the way that they did and some guy ends up getting suspended, the physicality is going to probably be gone, and that does favor the Warriors a lot.
Lost Toby on the text line wants us to know that O'Connor's Pub on the 17 and Dunlap has a delicious poutine gravy they added to curds, tots, or fries.
Wow, this is gross.
I don't know that I can eat anything with the name poo in it. I'm just saying. In other NBA basketball, last night it was a regular meat fest in Brooklyn. And I mean that because did you see the game at all? Joel Embiid went down, and Nicholas Claxton, he had to be a man and just go ahead and straddle him. What do you expect? Joel Embiid lifted his leg, hit him right in the cha-cha bongos. He got assessed a flagrant 1 after kicking Nicholas Claxton. I mean, okay, before I move on in this, because James Harden also got one. They said he hit somebody in the Roomba, but I don't think he did. I mean, I saw the replay. Anyway, this Joel Embiid thing, I mean, come on, man. The dude was stepping over him. He was posing on him. Come on.
Come on. You can't retaliate.
Come on, man.
It's playoff basketball. If you want to be out there on the floor, you can't retaliate. Now, if you to me, if I'm Joel Embiid on the ground and Nick Claxton stepping over me, that's one of the most disrespectful things that you could do in basketball.
Exactly.
Step over a guy that's fallen over. But understand that if you retaliate, you're taking the risk that the refs are going to see you, because stepping over a guy, while disrespectful, isn't against the rules. It's just not.
I don't like it. Ralph, what do you have to say about that? I don't like it.
I didn't see it.
Well, Claxton, he went in, he scored. Embiid was defending on the play. Embiid went down. Claxton, of course, mean mugged him and then stepped over him. And as he stepped over him with legs wide open, old Embiid, he kind of lifted. He had maybe a cramp in his left leg.
Maybe a cramp.
Gave him a little Joel shot.
That's what I would have done. Look, if I'm gonna go rob the jewelry store with my leg, I'm gonna claim it was a cramp. I'm gonna play this up. It's gonna be absolutely hilarious.
I mean, you got to restrain yourself. You can't do that. I would want to. I mean, personally, I would do it because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
But you just can't do that. You just, get back at him down the floor on your side. Go at him and do something, dynamic. But
yeah,
you get yourself kicked out of a game, or you're going to get a technical, whatever. You're going to hurt your team.
There are going to be opportunities in the game.
Yeah,
set a really nice screen.
Yeah,
later.
There you go.
Like, there are ways to get back at guys. You don't have to kick the guy in the moment in full view of the officials. You just don't, because we know what the rules are already. If you kick a guy, they're giving you the flagrant. It's not up for debate.
Well, they gave him the flagrant one, that's for
sure. That he earned it. I know at the same time that I'm saying I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing knowing what comes next. You know what the punishment for that is. So either you're going to take the punishment and say, you know what, I don't care. Not stop or not letting this guy disrespect me is more important than avoiding that flagrant. And I could respect that, but the flagrant is happening.
Then, same game, later on, different player. James Harden had the ball. He went to go in. Royce O'Neal was guarding him. James Harden did his usual offhand where he kind of blocks out like that. And they're saying that he hit Royce O'Neal below the belt. Please. I saw the replay.
Like
Royce O'Neal flopped like a damn fish out of water. Give me a break.
I don't know if he flopped, but
I thought they had a flopping rule in this league.
But I don't think he flopped. Like if he legitimately got hit there, then I don't know. You get
He
hit there.
wasn't even close.
But here's the thing. Pushing off is a foul. That couldn't have been on purpose. Okay. James Harden always pushes off. Like they shouldn't allow that to happen. Like that's a foul. But he always does it. That's not something that James Harden's been doing where it's like his move as he tries to dribble is to punch someone in the undercarriage. It's just, he doesn't, that's just not been James Harden. So it just doesn't seem right to go straight to the flagrant 2 on what looks to be at worst incidental contact.
Well, they went to the flagrant 2 and they threw him out of the game.
Yeah, that's the wrong call. That's the absolute wrong call.
I mean, it completely caught the 76ers off guard. Nobody expected Harden to be tossed out of the game. And then when you look at the replay, he wasn't anywhere close to the undercarriage. He was up there by his belly button, if anything. What a horrible call.
Just absolutely. Because even if he hit him there, if he didn't do it intentionally, that's not a flagrant 2. An automatic ejection, you would have to prove that he did that on purpose. And I just don't know if there's any way to know that.
Well, Royce O'Neal apparently fine. Was seen after the game smiling, very jovial. And so was Claxton. Both guys enjoyed a very pleasant evening. Meanwhile, they lost again. It's 3-0. 76ers win. And I think this series is about over.
Yeah, they're done.
Brooklyn has no really hope left.
No.
So what a meat fest, though, in Brooklyn last night.
Meat fest.
Well, it's what come on.
A meat fest. I like that.
I mean, you hit the guy in the stick. I mean,
in the meat stick. Yeah,
it's a nosedive, right? I mean,
hit him in the jack lane.
Right in the jack lane.
Shut the engine right off. All right, 888-368-1580. Lots on the text line. Cardinal Art says, hey, Randy and Keon. Suck it, Ralph! Great show, guys. Randy, may I please have a nice cold, frothy brew of your choice? A little spicy burrito out there.
Who was that?
Excuse me. That was Cardinal Art.
I'm making a list. Okay.
A little spicy burrito out there.
He's making a list, you guys. And he's checking it twice.
A little spicy burrito. What does that mean?
Cardinal Art.
Here you go, Cardinal Art. Brew of my choice. Got a lot of that. Got a new shipment in today. Hefty lefty. While it was comfortable win, it wasn't quiet at 20 points. So I'll get Jeffrey a pint of his choice and the next remote. While it was a comfortable win, it wasn't quite 20 points. So I'll get Jeffrey a pint of his choice at the next remote.
What are we talking about?
Apparently, Hefty Lefty has made some sort of a deal with Jeffrey to give him a pint of his choice, as if we're going to be at another remote. I mean, King of Kittens says, I got this feeling in my blood. What? What does that mean? Fighting Wampa. Ralph, if the Lakers don't go home and win the next 2 games, are they not a true contender?
No, because I'll be done. I mean, that's obvious, right? I mean, not much to that. I mean, they have to go home and win that first game, obviously, in my opinion. Get that game, and then all the pressure's on Memphis.
Baker's Cuckahin says, best poutine I've had is from this place called My Wife's Beaver.
I don't believe you.
No, I don't either.
I've never heard of a place like that.
I've heard of a place like that, but I mean, I don't believe it.
Bruno Baller says, if the Dodgers and Cubs game today was a football game, the Cubs would have scored a touchdown and 2 field goals. The Dodgers would have had just 1 first down.
The Dodgers just need to maintain a 500 record until they get people back. And that's exactly what they're doing. So not worried.
Big George. By the way, Ralph, they're a game and a half behind the Diamondbacks.
Until the Diamondbacks lose tonight, then it'll be
as we interplay tonight. When the Diamondbacks win, it'll be
a game still because they're going to lose.
It'll be full game. Full game after the Diamond. Full 2 games.
Tatis is going to hit 5 home runs tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he will.
Just for you, Red.
Well, that's if he goes into the locker room and shoots up some more of that happy juice. Big George says, "Hey, Sir Ralph, how about those Dodgers almost getting a perfect game pitched against them today and losing 13-0? Diamondbacks are still in first place."
Mm-hmm. Show me a team this year that won't get beat like that.
That wasn't me. That was Big George.
That's okay.
Blissful Hay says, "Happy Friday, Keon, Randy, and Ralph, and Fourth Dimension. Randy and Keon deserve some days off. Jeffrey is only one who gets vacation days, apparently. That's not true, Blissful Hayes. Thursday, I will be off. Thursday and Friday.
Just telegraphing that right now.
Yeah, I'm just going to let you all know.
And I would just mention, as much as they all enjoy it, when these guys take a day off, you're stuck with me. So remember that. And I know some of you don't want that happening. But every time someone's off, you know who's going to be there. It's going to be me.
So the NFL draft, I won't be here. I will be on vacation.
I will be here.
Miss Kim and I will be gone.
And I hope Monty Austin Fort makes a great pick, because
I don't even care. I'll be out of here. I won't even be.
Oh, this is for the Fourth Dimension. If he doesn't, Ralph will be here
to
let everybody hear.
I will torture
with their new uniforms, which we need to talk about.
If he doesn't trade out, torturing everyone.
It's like,
we have got to take a break. I've got so many more texts on the text line at 888-368-1580. Fourth Dimension, you are humming today. We will talk a little more basketball. We can get back. The Cards have a new look, and there's some college football news on the horizon. We'll talk about that with Keon and his never-ending love affair with college football. It's all around the corner here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code TRUST at checkout. That's harrys.com, code TRUST. Enjoy.
Today on Hey Culligan, Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey, Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Are your investments going nowhere? Here's a tip that always pays big dividends. Invest in yourself, your talent, your smarts, your skills. Maybe it's time to make that investment and start a career in IT or upskill to boost your current career. At My Computer Career, you can bank on us. We'll help you get the right skills and the right certifications to start or advance your IT career. IT keeps growing, so go with the growth at My Computer Career. The right training, the right timing, the right career. Invest in you at mycomputercareer.edu. Start now.
The Diamondbacks are off to a hot start. Can they stay in the hunt all season? The Suns begin round 1 of the NBA playoffs refreshed and ready. Will they make short work of the Clippers, or will it go to length? We bring the info and insights you want. And we do it with flair.
Ooh, awkward.
Live and local for the Valley. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Friday version of the Daily Blender here, going till 6 o'clock tonight. Right over there, the sexiest man at Sports Talk Radio. That's Keon Rose. Next to him, Ralph Romano joining us from Harmon Solar. My name is Randy White. And Jeffrey O'Brien out today. He'll be back on Monday. It's sort of a shocker, but not really a shocker. And I can't imagine why. There was 5 guys suspended from the NFL today for betting on football. 5 NFL players suspended for violating the league's gambling policy, including the Lions' 2022 first-round pick. What in the hell is going on? Stanley Berryhill III, Jameson Williams, Quintez Cephas, CJ Moore, and Shaka Tony have all been suspended for gambling. Lions hit hardest by the suspension with 4 players being banned. That's Berryhill, Williams, Cephas, and Moore. While Tony plays for the Commanders, Keon. Most notable name on the list was Williams, who was 12th overall pick in the 2022 NFL draft. So these guys have got to be hearing the news when they get here in the NFL. They have got to be hearing the ongoing onslaught of don't bet. You can't bet. There's no betting allowed. If your job is the NFL football as a player, don't get involved in betting. There will be those types, those shadowy figures that will want you to bet on games. Don't do it. Save your money for something else. Buy a Land Rover. Don't bet on football. It's not worth. And now there's 3 guys that apparently have been released from their jobs as football players, and 2 more guys that are dealing with the fallout.
The rookies especially, and then they talk about this stuff, and some old players come in and they talk about this stuff, and there's just no excuse. It's just, you know what it is. It's the stupidity of youth is all it is. Unfortunately, you give these guys some money, a little bit of opportunity to do some dumb things. I know when we were young, we all did a lot of stupid things. So, I shake my head because of the opportunities they have in front of them, but that they destroy now. But what are you going to do?
There are, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but there are organizations that are winning organizations, and there's a reason they are a winning organization. Then there are other organizations that are not winning organizations. They think they are, or they try to be. And the Detroit Lions announcing today that they have also fired several staff members from various departments in the organization who may have also been gambling.
Jeez.
I think part of it is because the guys who were suspended indefinitely were specifically betting on NFL games. The players who were betting, or the ones who were suspended 6 games, they were not necessarily betting on NFL games, but they were betting in the team facility, which you're not allowed to do.
Betting on college games at the team's practice facility.
So the problem for them wasn't the betting; it was where they were doing it. And the Lions and whoever else that was involved in that specific kind of betting needed to make that abundantly clear that you cannot do that in the building. And somehow that message did not get relayed, and I don't know how that's possible.
Well, how does it not get relayed?
I don't know.
Like Ralph just said, I mean, these guys have got to go through meetings, and they've got to have all sorts of opportunities where other players have told them don't do this.
I mean, I get that, but when you look at the Lions players in particular, they seem to know that they shouldn't be betting on the NFL. They just seem to not know where they were allowed to bet anything else, which is you can't do it in the building, period.
5 guys gone, done. Some of them just released indefinitely. The other 2, 6 games. And it doesn't hurt them as much as it hurts their team.
Yep.
You're in a team facility. You're in a team sport. This has nothing to do with you personally. It has everything to do with everybody else that's involved with this team.
Some of these organizations are just cursed. I think they're just one of them.
I can't believe it. I mean, I think about Boogie right off the top of my head. I think about Boogie. This is his team, man.
And those are some players that like it wasn't like random special teamers. Like Jameson Williams is a guy that they waited an entire half a season last year for him to come back from an ACL tear.
Yeah.
He shows up. He is absolutely the speed demon as advertised, doesn't miss a beat. Like the first game back, he immediately scores a touchdown on a deep bomb from Jared Goff. And you're like, okay, future looks really bright. Now here he is doing something like this. And part of it is he's got to know better. He's got to know the rules. But when you have multiple players and apparently also staff that are getting caught up in gambling on the property of the team facility, that tells me that the team did not relay or did not reinforce how important it was to not gamble here. It didn't get through, and I don't know why. Like that's a problem for the Lions to answer, how it is that multiple guys on their team didn't know that they could do that.
Well, and Dan Campbell, such a strict, strong personality in that organization. And I find it hard to believe that he didn't make sure these guys didn't know that. I didn't know that, right? I mean, he's such a straight shooter, no nonsense guy. I could just see him going off
right
when this happened.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just not who he is. He's one of those strict, old school, tough coaches.
And
so
he's strict, but I think maybe it was just, look, we told the guys this is what it was, and I don't think it crossed his mind that he had to say it again, or it just seemed really obvious to him. And here we are, just kind of blindsided by really dumb decision making.
Yep.
But you do have to say things multiple times sometimes. That's just when you're talking with guys that are 24, 25 years old. Yeah, sometimes you got to say it 2, 3, 4 times.
Bruno Baller on the text line at 888-368-1580 says, wow, before all of this, the Lions were maybe a sexy pick for the NFC North this season. Not for sure, not now.
Yeah, they still.
I mean, they still are. That defense is still really good. They were winning games before they had, Jameson Williams and so on. So I mean, like they'll be okay. At least they didn't have the guys that were out indefinitely. That's I think is where they would be in serious hot water.
Stanley Berryhill III. I mean, come on.
He should be playing polo. That's not a football player's name.
Oh, Berryhill, and Berryhill. Jameson Williams, Quintez Cephas, CJ Moore, and Shaka Toney have all been suspended for gambling. I can't believe this.
Look, I like Shaka Toney. I think he's a pretty interesting player. Dude, you were year 2 on a 7th rounder contract. Shaka Toney's career might be over.
Isn't that too bad?
I sure hope not, just because we all do stupid stuff. And if he's out a year and the league determines that he's actually sorry for what he did, maybe somebody will give him another chance. But when you're a 7th rounder, that's where I know you have to be smarter, because you're already a bubble guy.
Let's move on to better news. Not really, kind of mad news. Meh. After 18 seasons in their most recent uniforms, the Cardinals have a new look for the 2023 season. Team unveiling 3 new uniforms last night. Something I've been thinking about all afternoon here before the show started. The Cardinals decided to release the uniforms on April 20th, 4/20. Think about this for a second. Just take a moment and think about when the Cardinals chose to release their new uniforms. What day that was? 4/20.
Maybe they were hoping that we would just all be so high. We wouldn't notice what the uniforms actually looked like. Maybe.
And they're absolute garbage. I'm going to say it.
Now, I will say the red uniform with the Arizona across the front looks, it looks okay. But other than that,
does the Arizona need to be so big? Are the players going to forget where they're playing?
I understand what you're saying, but
I think part of the reason that the other 2 uniforms, at least to me, look so strange is I've never seen an NFL uniform that didn't have the city state or team name on the front of it.
Yeah.
And that's what really makes it look like a college jersey.
You would have thought they would have continued Arizona across the other two uniforms.
Why wouldn't you do that? That just seems silly.
It looks horrible on the red one.
And it is so blasé and bland. I can't explain to you how disappointed I am in these uniforms. And the black uniform, oh my God.
And why the gray? Why the gray stripe?
Well, and I'm asking that too, because if you look at a cardinal bird, there's no gray on a cardinal bird.
I mean, I get it. Once you play the Seahawks, especially in their old uniforms, you're going to get gray all over your jersey. But other than that, I mean, you look like Ohio State, man. It looks like an Ohio State.
A lot of people
really
are saying the same thing today. The Ohio State look.
I mean, it's incredible. The stripe is in the same place. Yep. It's the same color. I mean,
same designer.
It's the only thing that makes the Ohio State red uniforms better is that their pants are gray.
Yeah.
So there's this thing called contrast, and the person who designed this uniform, they never heard of it. Like every uniform looks like a Color Rush uniform. How can you do that?
I'm sorry. It is boring as hell. It is useless. I mean,
and that's the thing is I don't actually hate the uniforms. I feel nothing, which is worse. I don't like the Seahawk uniforms
on the prep sheet.
But
you
they're
can see
memorable.
Cards
they
get a new look. ... Meh.
If you win in an ugly uniform, it kind of becomes charming.
It becomes charming.
This is I don't feel anything when I look at these uniforms. They're nothing generic. Could have just picked up a nameless uniform in an Academy Sports.
The black helmet's okay.
I'm personally a fan of the black.
Yeah,
I like how you see that maroonish red come through it.
I don't like the black helmet at all. I think it's like ugly.
It's like a 74 Cutlass that just got that paint job.
I think it's ridiculous. They could have gone so many different ways with the black helmet. I mean, they could have gone with a matte black and made the cardinal really big, on one side and put like a number on the other side. Or they could have done something completely different. But they just take the same decals because they're cheap as all get out. They don't want to buy new decals, and they got a black helmet with a high gloss black on it, and they put the same damn decals on it.
I'm looking at the old red uniforms, and they just look better.
They do.
They just look a million times better. And also, it says the name of the football team on the chest, just because you're not a college team. You don't have to.
On the away uniforms, I would put the Arizona. On the home uniforms, I would put Cardinals.
Oh.
And I would somehow integrate the colors. If you've got to go with a third color, come up with something that's going to tie you in with Arizona. Good God.
Which the color gray does not. Just
I'll be honest with you. It's so mundane.
I mean, it could be a little bit random and it has the potential to look particularly ugly, but there are some colors on the flag of the state you could probably use.
Mundane.
I just don't know what the point of this is.
Yeah, this makes it honestly makes no sense. I mean, I'm not a Cardinal fan, but
they've been
just
teased
looking at this, it makes no sense.
They've been teased all over Twitter.
And they should be.
And the thing is, when you do a rebrand, you can't do another one for another 5 years. We are stuck with this for half a decade.
This is terrible.
This is a uniform that you're going to lose in for the next 5 years.
I mean, I appreciate the black helmet. I appreciate the attempt to go with like an alternate and have some, but I just hate the way it. Oh my God, there's no. Oh my God!
It's a uniform should have some personality. It should say something about your team.
There's no
nothing.
personality. It's just
nothing
meh.
here.
It's just so blah.
Just a boring white uniform, a boring red one, and a boring black one. Okay.
Well,
cool.
get ready for your people to not buy uniforms because they're so boring. Hell, I could go to Columbus and buy this uniform.
You might as well. At least they win. But hey, you play like a college team, so now you look like one.
Yeah,
That's
we don't
awesome.
even play like a damn college team.
The
Buckeyes win.
Well, I didn't say a good college team. I
Yeah,
just said you play like a college team.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, ASU's football schedule is out. I want to talk with these two guys about the ASU football schedule. Also, later on in the show, is the National League West up for grabs, really? Or is this sort of a facade, a mirage out there on the horizon of Major League Baseball. Got a lot to talk about. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-9336. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-9336. 800-444-9336.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Greg Clark Automotive trained and certified technicians, servicing the Valley for 45 years. Located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue. Highly rated by Google. Any of their foreign, domestic, or diesel work repairs come with a digital inspection, customer approval and warranty, 2 years or 24,000 miles. State-of-the-art service, family touch. Contact us today at 602-246-2881 or online at gregclarkautomotive.com. Mention 1580 and get 10% off.
ADOT's I-10 Broadway Curve Improvement Project is in the works. It's an 11-mile stretch of Interstate 10 between Loop 202 and I-17. When complete, your travel time through the area will be reduced. Access to Sky Harbor, retail centers, and colleges will be improved. And the region will be able to better support a growing economy and more. Keep up with the project and traffic updates at i10broadwaycurve.com and stay ahead of the curve. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Department of Transportation.
Professional announcer here, and I'd like to get real with you for a moment. All across the country, and even in our own town, there are people who have to go without, perhaps even you, having to go without hearing all of our shows. It's tragic, but there is help. Just listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts, or at 1580thefanatic.com.
Text line is buzzing here at 888-368-1580 on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. King of Kiddens says, I got hooked up with the Happy Juice. Now I need a 2-hour nap. Well, good. Enjoy your rest. Sweet dreams. Blissful Hayes, Ralph is great on the show. He needs to be on the air more, giving Jeffrey excrement. Giving Jeffrey excrement.
I'm not sure what to think about that.
Let's see here. Mr. Wilbur at 888-368-1580. Go ahead, all of you, Tempe normal people. Give it to me. Stanley Berryhill was an Arizona Wildcat. Mr. Wilbur, I don't think anybody's going to give anything to you. Have a nice weekend. Baker's Cocky Hen. Wow. How short is Paul Calvisi that Kyler Murray is taller than him? OSU plays better in that stadium than the Cardinals, so they thought it was a good idea. You're saying that Ohio State comes to Cardinal Stadium, the Silver Nest, and plays better in the stadium than the big Birds of Prey do. Interesting. Lost Toby, the white on white is the only good one. Removing Arizona flag was stupid. Then he has a meme here of somebody putting on their glasses to take a look at these Cardinal uniforms. Some sort of a glass, a guy looking at the glasses. Then he's got a picture of Utah Utes in their white, red, and black uniforms. How original.
Now you look like two college teams.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Boomer Sooner, was Steve Keim in charge of the new unis? Perhaps. Those new uniforms, those new unis are old ones they threw together, made in Nicaragua. Beer me 2 times. Wow. Made in Nicaragua. You know, the uniform was,
Nike has a lot to say about it, doesn't they? Don't they when they're making these uniforms?
Assembled in Nicaragua.
Yeah, because they're the official.
Nike is.
Yeah.
And they let this stuff go out.
Nike does the designs. I mean, then they try to work with the team, but it seems like they have a lot of influence on the design.
Really?
Yeah.
Nike?
Yeah.
This is miserable, you guys. Oh my God. All right. 888-368-1580. The Cardinals' new uniform. I don't like them. I mean, I'm sorry. They just.
And I usually get excited about new uniforms. Like I'm not picky about uniforms generally.
These are so minimal, and they're not flashy at all.
I mean, you could just buy a generic red uniform from Academy Sports, and it wouldn't be that different.
Instead of spending $200 on a new jersey, just go out and buy some beefy tees, and just draw your number on there. That's essentially what's happening here. Just get a red Sharpie and draw your number on a big white beefy tee. Good night. College football has a rule change, Keon, and this is going to be in effect here very soon. I kind of like it. I think it sets these guys up for playing in the NFL. But what say you? College football says the clocks will run after first downs in college football, with the NCAA set to change a half-century-old rule beginning today. Meaning that the clocks are not going to stop. They're going to keep running. What do you think about this?
I think that's a good thing. I mean, ultimately, when you have guys playing football in college, the goal of most of them is to make it to the NFL. And then there are so many things about the college game that is nothing like the pro game. And that was one of them. And it's one of those things where you have guys show up, and then that sense of urgency when you make a big catch downfield to, all right, you can't do the first down point. You've got to get back to the huddle, or at least get back to the line of scrimmage if you're running no huddle.
Yeah.
All of that stuff is something that they kind of have to learn at the pro level. And it just seems really weird. And the only reason why the rule was around is because it's been around for 100 years. There's no other reason that it was sticking around.
It's been around since 1968. Allowing the clock to run is expected to reduce the number of plays by an average of 7 plays per game, according to Steve Shaw, secretary editor of the Rules Committee.
2 college rules I never liked. That was one of them. The other one is down by contact. Because if they just go down, they're considered dead. Where in the NFL, you go down, you can get back up and run. And it seems to confuse the heck out of these guys in the pro level when they get there.
So you're saying if you catch a ball and you're in wide open field, you don't get touched, you're down by contact because it's college football. We're in the pros. If you catch a ball and nobody touches you, you can get up and continue to play.
Exactly. And you see a lot of guys that go into the pro game that seem to forget that change. And it just aggravates me. So that's one of the 2 rules I've always wanted to change. So I think this is a good change.
And honestly, the hash marks. I mean,
yeah,
the hash marks are so wide in college.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get to the NFL and it's just not like that. So the far side of the field in college is you have so much more field to throw to and work with. And then you get to the NFL and that's just not the case anymore.
You need to make this game as similar to the NFL as possible because you're basically a breeding ground, training ground for the NFL. So
seems like it, yeah.
Why would you not have it to be the same way?
All right, 888-368-1580. As we're moving towards 6:00 tonight, the NCAA changing the rule. First down will not initiate a clock stoppage. Rather, the clock will keep going, just like they do in the bigs. in the big leagues.
Saying all that, note to the Cardinals, that doesn't mean we need to bring the uniforms to the NFL as well.
Did I mention I don't like the Cardinal uniforms? Did I mention that on the show today?
I think it did come up once or twice.
Yeah, I don't know if I really got that out. I'm so quiet about my opinions about the Cardinals anyway.
Yeah, very quiet.
We barely know what you
I
think.
think their uniforms absolutely reek. They're terrible.
I'm going to buy you one.
Thanks, Ralph. All right, Sun Devil football schedule is out. I want to talk with you guys. I know, Ralph, you're a USC guy. I get it. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. USC, fight on.
Blah, blah, blah. One of the top teams in the country.
Here's the schedule. Let me run it down for you. Beginning August 31st, Southern Utah comes paying a visit on the Sun Devils at the stadium. Then it's Oklahoma State, September 9th. Fresno State the next week. USC comes to town on the 23rd.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's a win for the Sun Devils.
Is that in town?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to that.
Then it's the Sun Devils are on the road to California. They come back to take on prime time Dion and the Colorado Buffalo. Then they travel to Washington to take on the Huskies. And then they come back to town. They'll face Washington State before leaving for Utah to take on the Utes. Then it's UCLA in California, Oakland at home. Oregon at home. And then the Wildcats from Mexico come up here to play the Sun Devils in a quality football stadium. There's the 2023 schedule. Talk it out. What do you think?
Well, I mean, the start of it makes sense, right? You start with some soft opponents.
The first game's a softie, but
Yeah,
you go
second
right in
game,
against the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
I'm not sure what OSU looks like this year. I haven't looked. I mean, they're probably going to be decent, I would think. And then did you say Fresno State's the third one?
Fresno State after that, then it's the Trojans.
I think Fresno State's a very winnable game as well. And then you're going to get slammed by the Trojans, and that's going to be ugly. And then I think you said you're going to California after that.
Yeah, we'll take on Cal after that.
That's
September 30th.
I mean, it's non-conference is typical. You're going to have the weak guys up front. OSU, I think, is interesting, but that seems like a very typical college schedule.
Yeah, the weak teams like USC, and then we start to face the Bombers later on. Yeah, I get it.
And USC actually might be about a 40-point favorite coming in here, but we'll see.
I just had to double check to make sure and see where Oklahoma State was in the preseason top 25. They're not in it, but they are usually a well-coached team. Yeah. Mike Gundy, those teams are
a man. Blame me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm a man.
Boy, that clip is so old. He's over 50 now. I don't know how to feel about that, but I think that, that's going to be a nice challenge of a game when you go up against a team like Oklahoma State that's more established, that has a coach that's been around for a long time, that maybe this isn't the best version of that team. So it's a winnable game. It doesn't feel like, you've lost before you even got off the bus. But at the same time, you have something that you can kind of aspire to be. And if you win that game, that's something that you can fire up the guys in that locker room. And then when you go to Fresno, or when Fresno State comes to town, maybe you build on that and try and start off, 3-0, 2-1. But I do think that there's going to be some growing pains here, and you are going to see it in the schedule. Like, the USC game is going to be an incredibly tough game. Can you hang in the game? Can you stick around? I don't think they're going to win it, but But it doesn't mean you have to be in your building getting the doors blown off. Like that's where.
Let's be honest. Come on, say it.
I think
say it.
Well, no, it's the game's in September. I have several months to waffle on this. I'm not going to come down on the side of anything right now.
Blowout.
But you've got that being probably the first real big challenge of the season, and it'll be a nice sort of barometer for where are you going to be. Where do you aspire to be in the next few years? Because it is Kenny Dillingham's first time being a head coach, and a program where you still have to get a lot of your guys in there. He's done a lot of good things in the transfer portal, done a lot of fantastic things recruiting, especially in state. Yep. But it's still year one of the new coaching regime, and so you've got to turn some things over.
Kenny Dillingham has gone out and said, he's got a new, it's a new regime in there. 49 new faces. Everybody's happy. It's fun again. It's fun football, and everybody wants to play the game right and have fun doing it. And Kenny Dillingham's only 33 years old. I mean, this guy is a ASU Sun Devil through and through. He played here. He was raised here. Now he's coming back to coach here. He's even said it in the press. This is where he wants to be. That sort of thing is going to rub off on these players. When you get a coach that's committed to the school you're going to, you're more willing to play there long term than you are in this new NIL and transfer portal kind of era that we're in college football. And I think this is going to work out great for Kenny Dillingham.
I think so too. And his brand of football is really fun. And
it's high flying, man. It's very exciting.
Yeah. I think a lot of people kind of overlook that aspect of it do the guys even have to have fun? I promise you, having seen a lot of Georgia Tech football, even when they were winning, guys playing in the triple option were not having nearly as much fun as, some of those Oregon Duck teams that were putting up a lot of points. And I think that's more the style that ASU wants to play, more the tempo that ASU wants to play. And it does translate to success. I mean, look at Tennessee and what's happened over there with Josh Heupel and what he was able to do, transforming that offense into a high-flying offense.
Yeah. Let's talk about the teams you don't see on this schedule. I don't see Oregon State. I don't see Stanford.
Which is a shame.
You don't see those. You don't see those two teams.
Nice, easy victory for you.
But you do see Utah, who last year was, in conference they were 7-2. They were 10-4 overall. They're a stout team. Oregon, who was 7-2 in conference, 10-3 overall. Another team that was strong. A Washington team that was 7-2 in conference, 11-2 overall. A USC team that was 11-3. 8-1 in conference. It's like you're cutting out the byproducts. I mean, Stanford and Oregon State.
It's just luck of the draw. I mean, that's what happens in the Pac-12 now, right? You're going to miss some of the teams. Unfortunately, they're missing the worst teams.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just
fortunately they're missing Oregon State's probably not bad. They're really good. Like in the first year, like any victory you can get that can fire up that locker room, that you can go on the road recruiting and say, hey, look, this is our record and it's only year one. You could get in on the ground floor of a program that's ascending. Every one of those victories, means something. And so, yeah, you catch Oregon, that's not fun. You catch USC, it ain't great.
They are playing Colorado.
They are playing Colorado.
That's interesting. I mean, to me, Colorado's the most interesting team in the Pac-12 this year because of, the new coach and what he's done there and the players he's bringing in and the people that are transferring out. I'm really, really curious to see how he does there. I mean, can he have a successful Colorado program? I think he can.
I think he can, but it depends on a lot of things. He brought his son up to be the quarterback, Shadir Sanders.
He's good.
Who a lot of people really love, but it's going to be a step up in competition level. And that's one of the fun things about Colorado. It's what does Shadir Sanders do when you're playing Power 5 football?
Yeah. And I don't think that Southern Utah is anybody to shake your head at. They can come in here and ruin your opener.
Yeah, they should win that game.
Southern Utah could come in and they could hurt you. Just saying.
Mean, if they do, it's gonna be a long game.
Yeah, you got a lot of problems if they come in. Obviously, you don't overlook anybody, but Southern Utah got run by a lot of teams last year.
Yeah,
and teams on a lower level. So you can't get beat by them. Can't get beat by them.
All right, so we've got more discussion about college football around the corner. We've got some baseball talk on the way. Ralph's Dodgers took one in the shorts today. We'll talk about that. It's a Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
This is Matt Crowder live at the gas station on 41st Street, reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss. Are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Well, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow. Oh, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LANE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LANE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LANE.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. For years, I've been telling you about refinancing, new home loans, all the great stuff that the Lund Mortgage Team can help you with from start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates were bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage Team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. or online, lundmortgage.com.
It's back. The second annual Fire and Fairways Charity Golf Tournament presented by Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is Monday, June 5th at Silverado Golf Club in Scottsdale. Supporting Arizonans for Children, helping foster kids since 2002. Early entry is just $160 and includes fabulous lunch and drink celebration at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse, Scottsdale. Win a trip to the 2023 Ryder Cup, a Pebble Beach golf vacation, a 2-year car lease from Coulter Cadillac, and much more. You can help. Be a sponsor or donate a prize. Go to fireandfairways.com. That's fireandfairways.com.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third
hour. Quiet, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday. This is the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic as we begin hour number 3, heading for 6 o'clock tonight. Broadcasting live from the Harmon Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. You are texting in on the text line at 888-368-1580. My name is Randy White. Right over there, that's the sexiest man in Sports Talk Radio, Keon Rhodes. Next to him, it's Ralph Romano from Harmon Solar. And we are efforting to talk all kinds of sports for you as we head for 6 o'clock tonight. Jeffrey O'Brien is, of course, off today. When last we met on the air, we were talking about some college football rule changes and ASU's new schedule. And I think we all three agree this is a pretty a presentable and good schedule for ASU and for Kenny Dillingham in his first year as head coach of the Sun Devils. To use other than the obvious, Ralph, I know what you're going to say. Do you think that Kenny Dillingham has got a good shot to lead these Sun Devils to a productive and positive season?
I mean, yeah, he does. I mean, he needs to shoot for about a 500 record. If he can have a 500 record his first year out and show some talent and some growth in some of the players, especially towards the second half of the season, then that's going to help him in recruiting for next year. I mean, that's going to be the big thing is how can he recruit? Because if you want to get better, you need to be able to be a top recruiter in the country. You know, I'm not talking about SC again, but I will. They're a top 10 recruit again. This year they did a top 10 recruiting class. They'll continue to do that. And that's why they are what they are because they keep bringing these guys in. So ASU has to be able to start doing that as well and make it an attractive place for people to want to come play.
I saw a list of coaches that are in their 30s that are like the top coaches to keep your eye on in college football. Kenny Dillingham on that list. Lincoln Riley obviously was on that list. But I found it surprising that Kenny Dillingham was on that list with the Sun Devils. And I think this is a positive for a team that, quite frankly, with under the Herm Edwards era, it was very stagnant. It was very I don't know what the right word is. What the right definition? Yeah, they were underachievers.
I mean, maybe not that last season, but there were times where the roster that they had, they should have won more games than they did. They let games slip away that were absolutely winnable. And I just don't know that you can do that and be a sustainable college football program.
Well, and when you see your quarterback leave, when he left and he went to LSU, look at the kind of success he's having now under a college football program with a quality head coach and an organization that's going to help develop his skills and his talent. And they've built the team to kind of work to his strong suits. And I hope that's what Kenny Dillingham's going to do here. I mean, we got a top recruit to come here and play quarterback for us.
And that's the thing. The reason why that list you saw, Randy, why Kenny Dillingham is on that list is that even though Kenny Dillingham hasn't had a lot of time being a head coach, this is a guy that's worked with a lot of quarterbacks. And this is somebody who's gained a reputation as not necessarily a quarterback whisperer, but he's somebody that actually gets through the quarterbacks, finds their strengths, finds a way to pull that out of them. And so you get a guy like a Jaden Rashada to come out from Florida to be your quarterback. You bring in Drew Pine, who'll give you a little bit of that veteran presence in the event that Rashada is not ready to go, and maybe he has a little bit more to learn. You have that going on, and I think that there's going to be a full-fledged quarterback battle. I don't think the job's going to be given to anybody. They're going to have to go out there and earn it. And, for Rashada in particular, I think that his development is really where Dillingham's going to get judged a lot because of his reputation.
888-368-1580 is the text line. We've got a few texts on here. Let me try to get through these. Navy Devil is remarking about the Arizona Cardinals uniforms. Silver represents the Cardinals birds that are senior citizens age. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, great.
Just let that sit in there for a second. Just let it burn. Kiss to Cook says, if they have some resemblance to, I don't like to say this thing, Ohio State, that's because we have a town and street named after the freaking Buckeyes. Well, I don't think that's why the uniforms look like.
I don't think so either. They changed their uniforms because of one town in the area.
I don't think that's the deal.
Doesn't seem.
I've played baseball in Buckeye. It's not a town you want to emulate.
Damn, Randy.
I thought I was bad.
It's not. Okay.
It's just a town.
I don't even think their town colors are red and silver in Buckeye, Arizona.
Wouldn't know.
Good Cat says, I'd take the Washington Bullets pink flower uniforms over the Cardinals' new ones.
Pink flower.
It's the cherry blossoms, man.
I mean, yeah, they're cherry blossoms.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that equate to a Cardinal? It doesn't.
I think he was just saying he doesn't like those uniforms. And he'd still take those before these.
Is this the new look, Keon? You're younger than Ralph and myself. Is this the new look? This minimalistic sort of, not too much flash, not too much, no. We don't want to, come off as we don't want to show our brand too much,
No.
Is this the look now?
It's not at all. The Rams redesigned their uniforms. They look better. The Chargers redesigned their uniforms, I think the year before the Rams did. They look better. The Falcons redesigned their uniforms. They look better. And they wear similar colors and they look better. Like, it's just, no, this is not the look. This is the Cardinals doing God knows what. The Cardinals and or Nike. I don't know exactly where all the blame goes.
I mean, if you haven't seen the uniforms, let's just go ahead and talk about the primary home uniform. It's all red. There's no piping. There's no stripes. There's no nothing. And then there's like Arizona across their chest and a big giant number.
So I pulled up the Falcons uniform.
It's all red.
Their uniforms, they wear red, they wear black, they wear white as well. Their white uniform is a full white uniform with the red stripe on the side of the pants there. But the red uniform is red, and then it starts to actually turn into black in the middle of the jersey. And by the time you get to the pants, it's fully black, which is just fun. And then the black uniform, you get like a nice white trim on the side and red. What I'm saying is there's actually contrast in the uniform, so it doesn't just look like your eyes are bleeding. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand.
Well, they do have the ATL on the front.
And they have the ATL, yeah, which is also cooler.
Now that would now the PHX would have been or AZ or
and then if you're going to put a little color on the side, the shoulder there, put some yellow, because Cardinal Beaks, yellow. Also, we got yellow in the state flag.
Oh, no, we got to put gray in there.
Gray has nothing to do with this state. Gray has nothing to do with the history of this team. I don't know what the point of putting that there was. I have no clue.
I know the uniforms were a bit outdated and we needed to update them, but gee whiz.
Did you though?
We needed to.
They weren't that bad.
They weren't that bad, but there needed to be like a modernization, but not the way these guys took it. Yeah. Holy mackerel.
I mean, the Commanders' new uniforms are hit and miss to me. But they did some things that were unique
I love
to the
their
team.
helmets. I love that color that they changed. They took that maroon and made it like this kind of cool, deep maroon. And then the yellow looks so good next to it. That kind of yellow. They changed that just a little bit. The Cardinals are boring. It's a white helmet with a red sticker on it.
Just like even the uniforms that I don't necessarily like the way they turned out, like when they redesigned that Buccaneers uniform, I just thought that was awful.
You could have taken the black helmet could have been like this matte black looking, badass looking, helmet. If you're going to go black, you've got to go, kind of badass, kind of intense. You know what I mean? Hey, but what do? They got a shiny black helmet, put the same sticker on it that they have on the white helmet.
On the red one, there's nothing on the sleeves?
No.
Oh my gosh. It's like a red t-shirt.
Yeah. That's what I said. You get a beefy tee over at the Walgreens over there.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
And you get yourself a marker and there's your damn jersey.
You go to a Dick's Sporting Goods, you go to the football section, you buy generic red uniform.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Cardinals uniform.
Yeah.
The only thing that stops it from being that is the massive Arizona on the middle of the chest, as though it needed to be that large.
You know what they're going to do is they're going to interchange the jerseys and the pants as well, right? You're going to
have
red
I
jersey
hope not. Do you know how ugly
well, every
that'll
team does
be?
that. Seattle does that.
Do you know how ugly that would be?
But they're going to do it.
My God, no!
All of their colors are such block colors. There's no combination of this is going to look good.
You're going to have that red jersey with those white pants. With
it's all going to look very dumb.
I don't normally get involved in the fashionista side of sports, but this is just ridiculous.
I think what they should do is wear them inside out. I think they'd look better. What do you think?
I think we should just get some lime green ones when we play the
Ralph,
Sea
it couldn't
Chickens.
hurt.
Yeah, I'm looking at them again, man. These are just ugly. My goodness.
Yeah, it's like, and the thing is, the more you look at them and then you look away, when you look back, it does this magic trick where it's actually more awful when you look again.
Yeah. 888-368-1580. Big George wishing ASU all the best in their upcoming football season. I'm taking a wait and see approach to Kenny Dilly. Not the home run hire I'd hoped for, but I do like that he's an ASU alumni. I'll be cautiously optimistic. Big George not calling for the head of Kenny Dillingham before the season even gets underway. Thank you very much, Big George.
Those are the guys, I always think back to the early 2000s when SC hired Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll was a failed coach in NFL. He didn't have a big resume, and everybody wanted someone else, right? And they brought in this Pete Carroll guy, and everybody's like, who the hell, Pete Carroll? And look what happened, right? This could be the same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
you're better off sometimes getting these types of guys
Yeah,
who
I
can
agree.
come in and turn it around. I mean, you should be
Well,
excited about it.
And he's been successful. I mean, he's been with like Oregon. He's wherever he's gone, he's been successful.
Oregon, Auburn under Gus Malzahn, and like the 1 year that Auburn had, because Auburn never under Gus Malzahn had a quarterback that could really light it up. And a lot of that was just Gus ran this very high school system. When they hired Dillingham, that was like the 1 year that Auburn football could actually throw the ball downfield. So he has had success everywhere, and he's done it in multiple conferences. I am at 33 years old to be able to say that I was able to coach up quarterbacks in the SEC and then at high levels in the Pac-12. I do think that there is something to this and something to what Ralph was saying about getting a guy before he's a well-known commodity. Like Nick Saban wasn't always Nick Saban.
Right.
Pete Carroll wasn't always Pete Carroll.
Right.
Mac Brown, like these guys started somewhere, and when they were hired, they were not the guy everybody wanted. And when a guy really wants to coach for you, when he's saying, look, I want to stay here forever because this is where I'm from. I want to turn this thing into a power. And I know we have the ability to do it, because when you look at Arizona high school sports and Arizona high school football in particular, there's a lot of talent in this state that leaves this state. It goes to California. It goes to Texas. It goes to Oklahoma and Florida. He's working on the things that matter right now. Lock down the state, get your top recruits to stay here. And then when you can do that, you can start branching out and going other places. And he's already shown his chops going to the various high schools. So I'm excited about Dillingham, and I'm going to give him a chance.
Tide Stick is on the text line at 888-368-1580 saying, hey, what up, fellas? TGIF, Randy, pour me a tall one. Also, super stoked I got on the air on the Jim Rome show today. So you're not stoked about being on the air with us? You're not. That doesn't make your afternoon. You got on the Daily Blender with us.
Did he call you a name, or?
I mean, did you use Tide Stick on the Jim Rome show? I don't think so.
So if you did, kudos.
Jim Rome talks in code anyway, most of the time.
Racket.
We at least
Racket. Love that.
Right? We at least talk in English here on this radio program. Although he's a Hall of Famer, a worldwide celebrity. I can't talk too much about Jim Rome. I mean, I love his show. I love him, but I mean, I've never met him. Maybe he's a big jerk. I don't know. Never mind. Bruno Baller says, I'm guessing that Jeffrey is taking time off to prep for that big draft show coming up on Thursday. You would be right, Bruno Baller. Jeffrey O'Brien is nothing more than a giant professional, and he's out going through all the reams and reams of research, getting ready for the Thursday show, which I will not be on. Sheriff Tom says, now, Ralph, I'm going to caution you.
Okay.
This is Sheriff Tom.
Okay.
Just going to caution you. Sheriff Tom says, USC, University of Spoiled Children.
Wow, there's something I've never heard before.
I'm just warning you. Sheriff Tom. Out of the black of night when it's late and you're driving home.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden headlights show up in your rear view mirror.
Sounds like Sheriff is shooting blanks.
Sheriff Tom, I'm sorry. That was Ralph. That was not Keanu or myself. Beer Bob says, I don't get why the home uniforms have to say Arizona. Is it to remind the home fans of what they should root for? Shouldn't the away uniform say Arizona, home say Cardinals? I have a nephew. I have a nephew. He's in his 30s now. When he was in his teen years, about 17, he used to live in Yuma, Arizona.
I'm sorry.
And wait. Now maybe this is when he moved to Douglas, because he moved from Yuma, and then I think they were in Douglas, Arizona for some time. And my nephew and his friend got together and decided to get tattoos. Now my nephew got a very specific tattoo here on his chest over his heart. Do you know what the tattoo is? It's his name. He got his first name tattooed over his heart here on his chest. And I ask him on a regular basis, do you need to have your name tattooed? Do you forget your name? So if you take your shirt off and you're lost, someone knows to call you by your name, or do you forget your name or what? I've given him grief about that since he was like, 17 years old and he got that done.
Just his own name. Like, are you getting in shootouts?
He has his name.
Where if you
Matt.
die, they got to ID the body.
Not even Matthew. He's just got Matt.
Just Matt. Oh no.
In this sort of weird cursive script over his heart on the left bicep or in the left breast here.
I mean, is he narcissistic?
No, that's the whole thing. He's the nicest kid you ever want to meet.
Surprised he doesn't have his address and phone number there too.
I asked him that. Did you get your address and phone number put on there as well?
That makes sense then.
Oh,
then I understand.
Come on, Uncle Randy. Well, I mean,
this is a serious question.
You have your name tattooed.
Yeah, obviously can't remember your name, so I'm thinking address and phone number. Those are gone.
That's the only thing that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Just Hefty Lefty says there's quite a bit of gray in Sun City. Yeah, you're not kidding.
Maybe that's why.
I wouldn't advertise it, but okay.
Right.
Yeah, something.
All right, let's get off the text line before I just blow a gasket here. 888-368-1580. When we come back, we're going to talk some baseball, and we're going to renew our palates. We're going to refresh our palates. We're going to talk why the Dodgers got their ass beat today. We'll talk about that right around the corner here on 1580 The Fanatic. This is the Daily Blender.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
As the NBA playoffs continue, the odds for the conference winner is changing. Phoenix Suns are the favorites to come out of the West, plus 165 after Thursday's win against the LA Clippers. The Denver Nuggets are the number one seed in the West. They are plus 300. Golden State, the defending champions, plus 410. Over in the East, the Milwaukee Bucks, plus 125 to win the Eastern Conference. They were the number one seed going into the playoffs. The Boston Celtics, the defending Eastern Conference champions, plus 175. And the Philadelphia 76ers are at plus 360. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Are your investments going nowhere? Here's a tip that always pays big dividends. Invest in yourself, your talent, your smarts, your skills. Maybe it's time to make that investment and start a career in IT or upskill to boost your current career. At My Computer Career, you can bank on us. We'll help you get the right skills and the right certifications to start or advance your IT career. IT keeps growing, so go with the growth at My Computer Career. The right training, the right timing, the right career. Invest in you at mycomputercareer.edu. Start now.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
It's back. The second annual Fire and Fairways Charity Golf Tournament presented by Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is Monday, June 5th at Silverado Golf Club in Scottsdale. Supporting Arizonans for Children, helping foster kids since 2002. Early entry is just $160 and includes fabulous lunch and drink celebration at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse, Scottsdale. Win a trip to the 2023 Ryder Cup, a Pebble Beach golf vacation, a 2-year car lease from Coulter Cadillac, and much more. You can help. Be a sponsor or donate a prize. Go to fireandfairways.com. That's fireandfairways.com.
If you're not spending every waking moment checking us out online,
You better have a good excuse.
yeah, we've loaded up our website with the stories, pics, video, podcast, commentary, and more. The kind of stuff you love.
Hey, it takes a lot of time to post all this junk.
And you'll love every bit of it.
Very well. Or at least most of it.
It appears that the website has become alive.
Get it now.
It's on the internet.
1580thefanatic.com.
D-backs in action again today. He'll be taking on the Padres. I think that's set to get underway here shortly. From downtown Phoenix, D-backs lose one last night against the San Diego Padres, 7-5. Final score as we continue here on the Daily Blender of 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Look, we had our young pitcher on the hill last night, Ryan Nelson. This kid is going to be something right now. He's still sort of young and he's still learning. Gave up 3 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, over 5 innings. Then they had to go to the bullpen, and the bullpen, did a pretty good job. Misowitz or whatever his name is, he gave up 1 in 2/3 of an inning, and Ruiz gave up 1 in the latter part of the game there. Diamondbacks hitting still pretty impressive at this point. I mean, a lot of the guys are still getting the timely hitting. I mean, this young team is still hitting the ball. Corbin Carroll, he wore the sombrero last night, so he drops his 271 batting average for the Snakes. Christian Walker is still 222. He goes. He has 3 hits and 5 at bats, which was a good night for him. But he wasn't moving anybody around. I don't know why they don't move Walker somewhere else in the lineup. He's just consistently 4 or 5. Is it because he hits a lot of home runs? I don't know.
Probably.
Ralph, maybe you can.
It's probably because of his power. I would agree. It's probably because of his power.
But
Makes
they
sense.
moved Ketel Marte down in the lineup last night. I don't think he started the game. Came in and he had an AB against the Padres. He took over, I think, for Jake McCarthy, who also wore the golden sombrero last night. Alex Thomas had a pretty good night. He went 2 for 4. Nick Ahmed 1 for 3. I don't know why they don't bat Ahmed higher in the. I mean, I know the guy has got a history of not hitting the ball well, but I mean, the guy has been delivering. His average is 317. Good night. Wouldn't you put a guy hitting 317 a little higher in the lineup?
I mean, you would think you would, right? I mean, unless they're looking to get some kind of they're trying to make something happen with the bottom of the lineup, which I understand that as well.
I mean, I think this is more of that sabermetrics BS.
Sabermetrics. Yeah. I mean, the big news for the Diamondbacks, I thought yesterday, was Baumgartner being resigned.
Well, which was a surprise for me to see they DFA'd him. I would have thought they would have tried to bring him out of the bullpen, at least give it a try. But he must be worse off than we all know.
I mean, he's done, in my opinion.
He must be so bad that they couldn't recycle him in the bullpen and bring him out as a stopper or something.
I mean, honestly, he was done 2 years ago, but I mean, I think he's done now. His career's over.
$34 million over the rest of this season and next year is what the Diamondbacks will pay. Another great contract by Arizona sports teams.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like at some point we're going to hire somebody and put them on the Bobby Bonilla plan, where for the next 48 years we'll be giving him $1 million, in every April.
Jeez.
Yeah. So Diamondbacks in action again tonight against the Padres. It's a weekend series. This is if there could be a critical series this time in the season, this is a critical series for the Diamondbacks. You'll start to see what this team has. What kind of moxie they have to go up against just a murderer's row lineup in San Diego. Yeah, they got a lot of overpaid talent there, but I mean, you look at their lineup. A good night.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good lineup. I mean, they're struggling this year at the start of the year too. I mean, they're having their issues right now. So just like a lot of people are.
And Xander Bogaerts' pickup for San Diego has been a godsend. I mean, he's doing nothing but just hitting the cover off the ball, and he's playing a solid shortstop for this team.
Yeah, I mean, and Tatis is he's gonna start getting himself together, and that's gonna help them. And Soto's struggling right now. Machado's struggling. I mean, Soto's batting like $183. Machado's in the low 2s.
Mm.
So those guys are really struggling right now too.
You'll see him come around.
Yeah, that's why I always say it's about 50 games in when you start seeing things really where they're at. It's just too early right now, and they're really struggling right now.
So much to talk about in baseball. Today there was a sort of an oddity, and I feel bad for this kid for Chicago. Let's shift gears now. Moving to Chicago today. With all due respect, the Cubs were beating the wheels off the Dodgers. It was 13-0, I think, and it got to the 8th inning, and this kid Drew Smiley was throwing a wonderful game. I saw parts of it. I didn't get to see anything because I've got YouTube television and they're anti-baseball. So unless it's the NBC Game of the Week or something, I don't get to see any baseball on YouTube TV. I can watch professional snorkeling. I can watch clogging from the old Tennessee Convention Center, but I can't watch a damn professional baseball game. Hockey game, I can catch every hockey game there is. I can catch every NBA game, but baseball, nah, hell no. We don't want any baseball.
The Suns weren't even on YouTube TV last night.
Darts, professional darts live from the UK. Yeah, I got that on the YouTube TV.
Darts are important.
Darts. But this kid, Drew Smiley, was doing well. He got into the 8th inning, just throwing a wonderful game. And then wouldn't you know, former Diamondback David Peralta comes up and breaks up a perfecto with a broken bat dribbler down the third base line. Smiley went over to field it. The catcher came out. Jan Gomes came out to try to help him, got in the way. I could hear the coach now. You've got all that gear on. Just stay the hell out of the way. Just stay back there where you belong.
But I can't say that it's a giant moment of panic. And
it was a dribbler, and really Gomes had no reason to be out there. I mean, you can identify this. That's how hard the ball was hit. It was like a 15 bounder to a pitcher's mound, just to the right of pitcher's mound. That's how hard Peralta hit it.
Well, I mean, his intentions are good. He's trying to preserve a perfect game for his pitcher, and he got a little bit over ambitious, and it happens. I think
they got tangled up, and so there was no throw to first base. David Peralta it made it there, and he lost the perfecto. But hey, I mean, I'm watching it here on the Twitter. There is a power. There's like 15 bounces. Oh my God! Look at that. Yeah,
you're probably not going to get him either way.
Maybe not, but
he's probably safe regardless.
The catcher's not going to have a play there. I mean, this is where you got to learn. You got to know your position. The catcher has no chance whatsoever. Even if he fields the ball cleanly and Peralta's still 12, he's got to wheel around and then make the throw, and he's got to make a dead-on good throw. Smiley was clearly the one to field the ball there. But hey.
It just stinks because if you're going to lose your perfect game, man, just crush it out of the park. And that losing it like that just.
Well, I mean, you look at the box score; it's just like it. I mean, boy, I got some wood on that one, didn't I? Splintered my bat and everything.
But it's always that one, right?
Yeah,
that's how it goes, man. That's
how many times in your life, Ralph, have you been involved in a potential perfecto?
Personally involved or watching?
Yeah, personally involved.
Personally involved, I think once. It's a rare thing.
Yeah, it's very rare.
The one that I was involved with, he lost it in the 6th or the 6th or 7th, I can't remember. But I've seen many of them. Obviously, I've been lucky enough to be in the ballpark for a lot of no hitters in the minor league level, the pro, the upper level.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of them. I've seen perfectos. I mean, it's the one thing I know in baseball is pitching. I know pitching. Because my son's a pitcher, so I've had to get myself to know, and I've been around some great coaches pitching. And Smiley was on, man. When your stuff's working like that,
yeah,
there's no stopping you. So it's a shame, even because I love the art of pitching. I'm pulling for that guy. I want to see him get there. I don't care if it's my team that he's going against.
And that's sort of an oddity in baseball fans when they know something special is happening, whether they're a fan of that team or not, that they will root for that special event to go on. I remember. Absolutely. I was at a Diamondbacks game, and I can't think of. I think it's Jose Jimenez. He was pitching for was it the Cardinals or the Rockies? I can't remember which. But came to Phoenix, and he threw a no-no, at Bank One Ballpark against the Diamondbacks. And I found myself during the game rooting for him.
Oh, yeah.
To throw that, because it's rare to see it, a no hitter like that.
Right. I mean, I think that's the difference in baseball, right? As fans, we kind of lose our allegiance when we see a guy that's having an individual performance that's rare. We want to see him get that. We want to see him, no matter, even if he plays for somebody we hate, we're still going to pull for him. We don't care.
And that's one of the cool things about the season being the length that it is.
Yep.
Like if someone's having a special game in football, look, this one game could keep my team out of the playoffs. So screw you, man. But in baseball, it doesn't kill you to just see that great single performance sometimes. And you get to sit back and just appreciate it.
Yep, I agree.
Smiley threw 18 Ks today. 18.
That's just phenomenal.
It's impressive.
I mean, when you have a game where you're throwing 18 strikeouts, and he only used 2 pitches, it says here in the article. I didn't see the whole game, but it says in the article he used a sinker and a knuckle curve. And he got that mighty Dodger lineup at swing and miss more often than not. I mean, good for him.
If you can get a knuckle curve working for you, you're going to be tough to hit.
Yeah.
Real tough.
The catcher after the game, Jan Gomes, was kind of fooling around with media. I guess when he did his interview post game, he had a football helmet off because he tackled Smiley on that play. Gosh,
got to make the moment light because otherwise he'd just be miserable.
Yeah, he gave up one hit, which was that they gave Peralta a hit on that, which I don't know. Maybe.
He's probably safe no matter what. You have to give him the hit.
His line today was 7 2/3, 1 hit given up, no runs scored, no walks, 10 Ks. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, you tip your hat to that guy. Great job.
Absolutely.
It's too bad you couldn't get the whole way through, but hey, that's still a performance. That's an amazing performance. So
absolutely. All right, but the Dodgers lose. So
he'll come out next outing and give up 10 runs in 2 innings. That's the jacked up thing about baseball, because he did that today. He'll come out next outing. It's 10-0 in the second, and he's out. So, but that's the beauty of the game.
All right, we've got lots to talk about. Fernando Tatis 0 for 5 in his game last night for the Diamondbacks. We'll see what he does tonight. Everybody's making a big deal about that play in right field. Do you think that was a big deal, Ralph? Did you see the catch? No, I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
I didn't see it.
So he went to his left. There was a ball kind of tailing away from him in right field. He was going towards it. He had to run hard, and he got the ball. He didn't leave his feet. He got the ball, and then he was slowing down when he got to the warning track, and then just kind of turned and used the fence to stop his momentum. I don't know if it was that big of a deal.
Why are they saying it's a big deal?
Well, and they're saying that was his gem. He was the ESPN and the MLB network.
Whatever.
Everybody's replaying it over and over again like it was some. I've seen guys make better plays personally.
Yeah,
and it's not it's not sour grapes against Fernando Tatis Jr. It's just like, really, the guy goes 0 for 5. He has 1 catch in right field. It wasn't really that big of a deal.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, I don't like Fernando Tatis Jr. because I can't stand the Padres. He's a great, fantastic player, but he cheated. He's a cheater. And that's the bottom line. And that's never going to get out of my head that this guy cheated. And it'll be interesting to see how his game changes now, that he's not cheating the way he was. But I have no respect for a player like that. So, I mean, as we just talked about us pulling for players, I'm pulling for him to fail, to be honest with you. I just don't like guys like that in this league.
Yeah,
there's nowhere for him.
He's a bit full of himself for me.
Yeah, a little bit. But part of the whole team, Machado, him, those guys are all full of themselves. That's why they're the Padres. That's why I can't stand them.
Yeah,
I think
it's good to see him losing.
It'd be easier to like Tatis if he, showed some humility around the getting caught using performance enhancing drugs. Like, there are guys that are sorry, and I'll always still have in the back of my mind, is this legit? But at least I know the person at least is paying lip service to the fact that they did something wrong. Tatis was kind of defiant in all of that.
Yeah.
And that really rubs me the wrong way because, dude, you're breaking the rules, man. You are cheating.
Yeah.
And you should at least acknowledge that fact. And
he's mad he got
do
caught.
it.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Ralph. I think he's angry he got caught cheating.
That's what it is.
He did have a sort of I know I've let my teammates down. I apologize to my teammates.
Yeah, I don't think he apologized for taking steroids. That's what I wanted to hear personally. Like, that's what you did wrong. You let your teammates down by doing what exactly? Oh, no, you're not going to say it? Well, that apology doesn't mean anything.
If a player makes a mistake and he does something wrong and he's apologetic and he really is remorseful, everyone gets a second chance. And even Fernando gets a second chance. But, man, be a man.
That's why people get
along
along with Andy Pettit. I mean, he used performance-enhancing drugs too. And he admitted to it. And that I just own your crap if you're going to do it.
Well, Tatis goes against the Snakes again tonight. Downtown Phoenix, I think it's 6:40 start time, and we'll probably update you on Monday when Jeffrey returns. Probably.
And it's hard for me. I want the Diamondbacks to beat the Padres because I just can't stand the Padres.
Yeah, I'd love to hang an L on all those guys. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. Somebody was asking the question in media today: is the National League West up for grabs? I kind of giggled. We're not even 20 games in, man. Everybody just relax. Are you that hard up for material to write about that you have to put out this speculative question about is the National League West up for grabs? Come on, man.
I mean, look, the reality is the Dodgers and the Padres, when it's all said and done, are going to be battling it out for this division. They're going to all get healthy. Everybody's going to come back. I mean, you're going to see they're going to get into their groove. And that's just what. And the Diamondbacks have a shot at maybe, being that shadow right behind those two, which if that happens, what a successful season for the Diamondbacks.
Exactly.
To even be that shadow.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be happy with that. But I think when it's all said and done, those are the two teams that are going to run away with the division. That's just they have the talent. They have everything. Right now, the Dodgers, like I've mentioned, just stay around 500 till you get some guys back, because right now you got nothing in the bullpen. You're hurting right now. So if you can stay 500,
well, and
you know it's going to change.
They've got to figure something. I mean, when you put Mookie Betts at shortstop last night, clearly you don't have anybody in the minor leagues.
He looked phenomenal.
Well, he looked great. I mean, he look, Mookie Betts is one of the best athletes in Major League Baseball.
Absolutely.
And when I say athlete, I mean he could play anywhere: center field, shortstop, first base, third base. He could play anywhere.
Take a pitch.
Well, he does have a good arm.
I bet you could put him on the mound and he could throw.
He does have a good arm.
Matter of fact, I think he did last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he is the guy, right? I mean, class act, total athlete.
Oh, 100%. I would root for Mookie Betts any day, anytime, unless he's playing a Diamondback.
But that's where the Dodgers are right now. They have so many injuries that's what they have to do.
Exactly.
And they're deep in the outfield and other places. So they're going to have to figure it out. They just need their bullpen to get back, and they need their starters to get back, and they'll be all right.
All right. We've got to take a break. When we come back on this day in Big Georgia sports history, and we've got a little NBA draft outlook here. And the Bills made an interesting move today. We'll talk about that. It's right around the corner here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-9336. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-9336. 800-444-9336.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Greg Clark Automotive trained and certified technicians, servicing the Valley for 45 years. Located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue. Highly rated by Google. Any of their foreign, domestic, or diesel work repairs come with a digital inspection, customer approval, and warranty, 2 years or 24,000 miles. State-of-the-art service, family touch. Contact us today at 602-246-2881 or online at gregclarkautomotive.com. Mention 1580 and get 10% off.
Today on Hey Culligan Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey, Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with the free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Will Shakespeare here. Back in my day, I invented over 1,700 slang words like swagger, bedazzled, and my personal favorite, besmirch. But even I have trouble understanding slang words like yeet or bougie or
this is fire.
Actually, it is extremely smooth Shakespeare vodka.
Okay, boomer.
See what I mean? But there is one word that describes the pure quadruple distilled spirit crafted from an 8th century Polish recipe the first time you try it.
So lit.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Shakespeare vodka. So lit.
Hello, and thanks for listening. We strive to bring you the best programming available. And we have some exciting new shows coming for you later, like Haircuts of the NBA, Sunrise with KD, and Who Wants to Buy My Colts Tickets. Be listening for them. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
We are rolling towards the weekend here on a Friday edition of the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. My name is Randy White, Keon Rose, sexiest man at Sports Talk Radio right over there, along with Ralph Romano from Harmon Solar. Jeffrey O'Brien out today, be back Monday. And we just got a few things to take care of before we wrap up this edition of Daily Blender. The NBA draft outlook, nobody's really talking. I mean, I guess the NBA channel is. I get that on YouTube television. Do I get the MLB channel? No. They dropped it. Yeah. Do I get to see any MLB action? No. Could I get MLB extra innings? Sure, I could, but I still won't get to watch the Diamondbacks because you know why? Bally's is not on the YouTube television.
You need the box.
I need to get over it, don't I?
You need the box.
Anyway, I thought, before we shut her down tonight, Keon, you're a big NBA guy, and I looked at a name here, Victor Wembanyama. What does this guy mean to you? And why is he the overall favorite to go number one in the NBA draft?
Because he is, he's an incredible basketball player. I mean, he absolutely breaks the mold on what you think a basketball player could be.
Yeah.
He is a young guy, 19 years old. He was 7'3" around this time last year. He's actually grown 2 inches. He's 7'5", but he handles the ball like a guard. I don't think we've ever seen anybody like him. He can shoot it from 3, anywhere on the floor, really. But at the same time, guys that are that big that can shoot it from distance tend to be a little softer, tend to be somebody you can push around. You cannot push around Victor Wembanyama like that. And he's not as strong as he's going to be. When you get him in an NBA weight room and an NBA diet, that he's going to fill out. He's going to be bigger. He shot a 3 about a month ago in one of the games he was playing in Europe, and he missed. And from all the way out there, he took basically 2 giant steps and beat everybody to the ball and just threw down a dunk on a missed 3. I don't even know if there's words to describe it, but we've talked about, guys like Kristaps Porzingis, Chet Holmgren, who the Thunder drafted and then, immediately got injured. So we just didn't get to see what he could be. But these kind of unicorn type players where it's like, they're that big, but they move like somebody smaller. We've just never seen anybody do it at 7'5".
I mean, he reminds me of Ralph Sampson, but bigger and better.
Yeah. I'm looking at this kid. You talked about Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren was just bones and skin. This kid's got some beef on him. I mean, he's got some muscle on him. He's got some definition. He looks like he's in very good shape.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible that someone his age can even look like that. Because usually when guys are that big at 19, 20 years old, they're skinny, and you're like, okay, can you put on the weight? For him, that's not even a question. He's already built like an NBA veteran.
Yeah,
but he's still not the size he's going to be, and that's the part to me where everybody's just drooling over what Victor Wembanyama is, because his upside seems unlimited. And he's also somebody who is going to be immediately an impact player. It's not somebody you're going to have to wait for to get good.
So May 16th is the night we're all waiting for. That's the NBA draft lottery. Of course, it's rigged. Draft lottery takes place that night. It'll be determined which team will own the number 1 overall pick. It'll be Detroit Pistons, Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs. They're all tied for the best odds to win the top pick. They all have 14% chance of winning that top pick. See, how can you have best odds when these three teams, you've got other teams in there too? And if it's like a lottery where they have like a bingo ball that's coming out of, how could these guys have odds? See what I'm saying? I know what's going on behind closed doors of the NBA.
Because even if you have the best odds of having the number 1 overall pick, your odds are still 14%.
Yeah,
they're still not high, even though they're the highest of everybody else.
Why don't they get rid of this? I don't understand why they still do this lottery.
Because they are. I don't know why either, because it's an anti-tanking measure that doesn't work.
It doesn't.
People tank. I mean, the Spurs, because we've seen Victor, Wembanyama coming from a mile away. So everybody knew what year they wanted to tank. Right. Rockets tanked. Spurs tanked.
Fakers.
I don't think the Pistons tanked. I think the Pistons are just legitimately that bad. And Cade Cunningham, their number 1 overall pick that they had a couple years ago, got injured this year.
Yeah.
So I think the Pistons are just legitimately that terrible. But a lot of teams were tanking this year because they took a look at Victor Wembanyama and just went, yeah, we get that guy. Our team's a different team overnight.
Yeah. Like Dallas.
I hope the Pistons get him.
Dallas is not getting to that top into the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to see San Antonio get him at all.
Well, they've got a good chance. Pistons,
they work real hard.
San Antonio and Houston Rockets. All right, 888-368-1580. A couple of texts here to take care of. We got on this date in Big Georgia sports history. Blissful Hayes says, as the most powerful employee in the Arizona Cardinals organization, Kyler Murray had to give his approval on the new uniforms. I don't think so.
Yeah, I doubt that.
I don't think he had any say in the uniforms at all, other than he whined about it when he first got here. We need some new uniforms. That's all I think he said. Tide Stick says, it went well. Can't use a nickname there or you'll get it run. If y'all took calls, I'd be on yours.
He was talking about his Jim Rome appearance.
Jim Rome appearance, yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Nondescript says, Yuma and then Douglas. Is your nephew in the witness protection program?
Oh, no.
Nice.
Maybe.
Very nice.
Maybe. Kiss the Cook says, Matt, as in walk on me? Maybe. The Jet says, gentlemen, pour me a beer. Also, I'd like I'd like the beach a little bit. Those horrible Lakers played on Wednesday, and they don't play again until Monday. What the hell? I know they're old, but why did they get so many damn days off? The NBA always leans towards the Lakers anyway, and it sucks.
I think it has to do with the sharing of the arena with the Clippers and those games being scheduled and the amount of work it takes to move them back and forth. So I just think they just got advantage of that. That's great.
And also the Kings are in the playoffs. They share the arena with 2 other professional sports teams playing right now. So I actually saw one weekend with the last time these 3 teams all made the playoffs. The Clippers played. So they put down the floorboard for the Clippers, took the floorboard up, put the ice down for the Kings, and then melted the ice, and then had to put the floorboard down for the Lakers. So, I mean, it's going to happen that way. You have 3 teams sharing one stadium.
I understand why you don't understand that. I mean, Los Angeles is a city of champions.
Oh, boy.
Phoenix is not. So we have to all do that.
Getting sick here.
Oh, boy.
All right. Also on the text line, Against the Spread says, timestamp this last text. I'm taking the Celtics live on the money line right now. He wants me to timestamp that for some unknown reason. There you go. It's timestamp. Big George, Ralph, you realize your team is full of a bunch of a-holes. Urias is a big a-hole, and you remember that Machado was a Dodger before, right?
Yeah, and I couldn't stand him when he was a Dodger. I never wanted him there, and he was an absolute a-hole. And Urias is absolutely not an a-hole. Why would you say that?
You know, he says he's an a-hole. I don't know.
Based on what? I would love.
I just read them. I don't write them. Yeah. Swave Dave says maybe the Cardinals were locked into a contract with Nike and chose the cheapest option to offset the cost of trading Kyler Murray. Thoughts? And happy Friday. Pour me a tall one, please.
I wish that were the reason, but Nike is a partner with the league, so it doesn't cost the Cardinals anything.
Yeah.
Choosing the cheapest option doesn't change anything. The league gives you the uniform.
Lost Toby says Tatis only apologized for getting caught. Yes, I think we got that.
Agreed.
Yet another Sunsbot says Suns end these fraud Clippers in 5. It had a bunch of exclamation points. I had to read it like that. Hefty Lefty says Lakers and Clippers play tomorrow. The ground crew has like 2 hours to change everything in the arena.
No, the Kings play tonight. The Clippers play tomorrow. Lakers play Sunday, I believe.
And there we go. We've caught up on all the texts as far as I can see on the text line at 888-368-1580. Let's do it. It's on this date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1966, the Cubs make one of the best trades in franchise history, acquiring the future Hall of Fame pitcher Ferguson Jenkins from the Philadelphia Phillies in a 5-player deal. Cubbies surrender pitchers Bob Buell and Larry Jackson for Jenkins, outfielder Adolfo Phillips, and first baseman John Herrnstein. Jenkins, who had made his prior major league debut in 65, went on to win 20 games for the Cubbies in 1967. Thank you, Big George, for that one. 888-368-1580. Let's see here. We talked about, the Bills were busy. The Buffalo Bills were busy today. Let me know what you guys think about this one. The Bills sign a kicker to a lucrative contract extension. You might say, well, Randy, what is this contract extension? Well, kicker Tyler Bass has agreed to terms on a 4-year extension worth up to $21 million with 12.3 guaranteed.
For a kicker.
A kicker.
That's a very Cardinals deal.
I mean, you say that, but when you were in Buffalo and that swirling wind, if you find a guy that can kick there,
Three seasons, Bass has made 83 of 97, 85.6%, and 156 of 60 extra points. That's 97.5%.
And he's not going to get the 21 mil unless he's hitting those incentives. So, the 12 is the guaranteed number. That's the number to really look at. And that's not a bad number for a guy that consistently makes kicks. And again, in a stadium where it's notoriously hard. I mean, Justin Tucker might be the best kicker in the entire NFL. Went up to Buffalo to play the Bills in the playoffs. And I've never seen the guy so confused. He kicked it. It was right on. And then that wind just took the ball and threw it somewhere else. You play in certain stadiums. It costs more to keep your kicker.
All right. Yeah. So does Buffalo need a dome stadium? Ralph, go. Does Buffalo need a dome stadium?
Absolutely not. It would take away from what they're all about.
All right. Keon, go. Does Buffalo need a domed stadium?
No. Part of the advantage of Buffalo is they can play football in that weather, in that wind, and they have to draft players to suit that. But it does give them an advantage in certain ways. That's really cool to watch.
But they had to move one of their games because of a lake effect blizzard that blew through there.
Well, 7
dropped
feet of
like
snow.
97 feet of snow, and they had fans out there with their snow blowers trying to get the team out of town so they could go face off in a domed stadium in Detroit.
But it doesn't happen all the time. If it happened every year, that'd be one thing. But it happened this past year, and so it was a freak occurrence.
I don't know. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Daily Blender on this Friday. It's been a great week. Mr. Wilbur says, let's all pitch in and buy Randy a new Cardinals onesie. No, thank you. I sleep in the nude. Thank you. Big George, a quick question for Ralph. Do you think your LA Kings will defeat the Oilers of Edmonton tonight? Series tied 1-1.
It's going to be a tough game. I'm hoping they can pull it out. It's been a great series so far, 1-1. We'll see.
Hefty
Hope so.
Lefty says, wrong. Lakers play
Tomorrow.
7 p.m. tomorrow.
Oh, they play at noon.
I don't know. I just
Whatever.
read them. I don't write them. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you Monday here on the station.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. These are tough times for everyone.